He just happened to have quite a few, so he gave me a few. Although that's what the letter said. But Lin Wanshu could still see that he was dissatisfied with Zheng Nan for giving her a house and asking for money. Only then did he come to support her angrily. In fact, Lin Wanshu later received a call from Yu Zheng Nan, in which he said that he had torn up the IOU and that there was no reason to ask for more money since the house had been given away. In the end, Lin Wanshu had no choice but to accept the old man's kindness. Now it seems that the uncle master didn't seem to know that Yu Zheng Nan had torn up the IOU later, and Lin Wanshu felt a little embarrassed. Could it be that my uncle had a quarrel with Mr. Yu? If her actions caused the two to quarrel. Qin Yan couldn't help but laugh when he saw her worried and annoyed look. Don't worry, the old generation has a strong bond. They will stop quarreling today and get over it tomorrow. Lin Wanshu thought so too, and didn't say anything else. I just made up my mind that I would call my uncle later. How could he just give away so many houses to himself? Putting the notebook down, she looked at the other things again, and sure enough, most of them were for Miao Miao. After putting away her toys and snacks, Lin Wanshu checked another bag. As soon as I opened it, I saw 2 or 3 sets of miniature clothes, a small hat, and small shoes. The small clothes are short-sleeve summer clothes, and it is obvious that they were made on a specific date. The stitches are neatly sewn. The fabric is soft and comfortable to hold. Just by looking at it, you can tell how much care was put into sewing this dress. Lin Wanshu had just read the letter and knew that it was sewn by her sister-in-law for the baby in her belly. She felt warm in her heart. Although she doesn't lack this thing, the thought is priceless. Your efforts are seen by others and they take it to heart. Nothing can replace this kind of emotion. Qin Yan carefully picked up the small clothes on the bed, his eyes full of surprise. It's so small, how can I wear it? Hearing this, Lin Wanshu laughed a lot. The baby only weighs a few pounds when he is born, so these clothes are too big for him. Hearing this, Qin Yan was even more shocked. He glanced at the clothes that were not much bigger than his palm, and then at Lin Wanshu's almost invisible bulge. It was hard for him to imagine how such a young child could grow up to be like Xiao Miao Miao. Life is so surprising. Lin Wanshu checked other things and found that there were not only 2 kilograms of glutinous rice, but also a lot of ingredients that the Red Star Brigade would use for the New Year's Eve party, as well as some food made by Qin Ma herself. The letter was written by Qin Hua, and everyone in the family said a few words. Filled with greetings from home. Mom and Dad said they missed us. Looking at the things on the bed and the letters filled with greetings in her hands, Lin Wanshu felt mixed emotions. How ironic. The only people who care about her are her husband's family. There is no package or even a letter from her parents' side. The last time she sent the medicine back, her stepmother even called and scolded her. Therefore, Lin Wanshu didn't even send the medicine during the New Year. I just sent some local specialties that can be found everywhere here, which are light and inexpensive. The package was not sent to them until after it was sent to the Qin family. Anyway, the package looks big on the outside, but there is actually nothing valuable inside. Anyone who saw such a large package would think that the Lin family had gotten some great bargain from her. To be honest, if it weren't for Qin Yan's military service and she had to consider his reputation, Lin Wanshu wouldn't even want to send them this specialty. Qin Yan saw that Lin Wanshu's mood suddenly became a little low, and he quickly understood the key. When he thought of the skinny and small figure when he was young, he felt so heartbroken. Her in his arms, kissed her little face and comforted her. My home is your home, and my parents are also your parents. Let's not think about unhappy things. Some people are not worth it. Seeing how he was trying to coax her seriously but awkwardly, Lin Wanshu laughed out loud. That's for sure. My parents treat me much better than they treat you. Didn't you notice that all these things were sent to me, and few of them are yours? Qin Yan. Why do I suddenly feel depressed? It's terrible. My wife has bribed my family. I will be alone from now on. You have to be responsible for me. Usually stern man started joking. Lin Wanshu put her hands on her hips and looked at him with a haughty expression. Then you have to be obedient. If you don't blame me for not loving you. Qin Yan was very fond of that arrogant little look. But considering that she was pregnant, he couldn't do anything. Finally, She just kissed her forehead and coaxed her. Well, be obedient and please love me. I was so happy to hear him calling me sister without changing his expression and asking for love. Lin Wanshu's eyes widened. You. His core has been replaced? After all, I had coaxed him for a long time before, but I couldn't get him to call me sister. In the end, my waist was almost broken, and I couldn't even get out of bed the next day. Thinking of this, Lin Wanshu subconsciously touched his forehead. Qin Yan was almost amused by her. He took the woman's hand away and said with a smile, I didn't change the core and I don't have a fever. Lin Wanshu. As she breathed a sigh of relief, her face turned red. Lin Wanshu is such a contradictory person. She flirts with people when they are cold to her, but when they flirt with her, she becomes timid. Finally, she changed the subject somewhat uncomfortably. When will the troops kill the pigs? The Chinese New Year is just a few days away, and there are a lot of things to prepare for the Spring Festival in Lan County. Although supplies are scarce, the Chinese people are still generous in using the best things they have in the year to celebrate the Spring Festival. Therefore, everyone is very busy after the New Year. In addition to the general cleaning, they also have to kill pigs, stuff blood sausage, pound rice cakes, and fry tofu balls. Tomorrow, I'll bring you whatever you want. Qin Yan knew that she was not easy to tease, not to mention that she was pregnant, so he didn't say anything excessive. Couple was talking when suddenly someone ran in panic. Auntie, Miao Miao had a fight with someone. Hearing this, Lin Wanshu was shocked. Who could she fight with such a young baby? She enough to be a finger of someone else? However, she was eager to protect her daughter, so she asked anxiously, where to fight? Don't worry, wait at home, I'll be right back. Qin Yan reacted faster. He stood up and walked towards Zhong Fengshu's daughter Xiao Xiao. Although Xiao Xiao was afraid of Qin Yan, she still said quickly, It's over there in the threshing ground. Uncle Qin, I'll take you there. Qin Yan comforted Lin Wanshu. He went out with Xiao Xiao. Although Xiao Xiao is only 3 years old, she speaks fluently and runs very fast. When the two arrived, Xiao Miao Miao was indeed fighting with a little boy of 3 or 4 years old. There were 2 babies of similar size standing next to them. The little boy is half a head taller than Xiao Miao Miao, but when he faced Xiao Miao Miao, he didn't have the upper hand. The 2 kids wrestled with each other, each trying to knock the other down. The little boy has longer legs and seems to have learned some moves, but Xiao Miao Miao is very flexible and very strong. Every time the little boy's legs swept over, she would always dodge it and even try to knock him down. But her legs were too short and she couldn't reach the other person. The 2 of them were stuck in a stalemate, and neither could win. Qin Yan was not in a hurry to help. After a while, 2 more adults came over. When Li Yicheng saw his son bullying a little girl, he immediately felt terrible. Just as he was about to open his mouth to scold his useless little jerk, he was stopped by Qin Yan with a gesture. He could only smile awkwardly. Captain, I'm sorry. My child is really a bad boy. I will criticize him later. This jerk's son, why did he have to pick on the daughter of the living devil when he could pick on anyone else? If he loses, he will be embarrassed. If he wins, he will suffer the consequences. Qin Yan, it's okay. Children are prone to bumps and bruises. Let's wait and see. Gao Wangjin, who was standing by, was so shocked that his jaw dropped. Is this still the Qin Yan who would feel distressed for a long time when his daughter got a little bump? But then again, Lao Qin, your daughter is really good. If you can give her some guidance, the outcome will be a foregone conclusion. It is really admirable that such a small kid can play with a 3 or 4-year-old boy for so long. Li Yicheng was already extremely upset, but he had no choice but to stand there and watch them fight. 3 adults and 3 children just stood aside and watched. Xiao Xiao couldn't even help but cheer for Xiao Miao Miao. Come on, Miao Miao. Hit him. The 2 little ones next to them also cheered for Xiao Miao Miao in their baby voices. I don't know if it was because the little friend was too strong, but Xiao Miao Miao actually grabbed the little boy's arm, bent down and threw him to the ground. But she was too small. The moment the little boy threw her out, her body shook and she fell on her butt. Wow. Miao Miao won. Miao Miao is so amazing. Several little babies cheered. Face turned black as he looked at his son, lying on the ground pretending to be dead. Get up and run 5 laps for me. It's so shameful that I can't even beat such a young sister. Qin Yan had already stepped forward and picked up his little baby. After checking to see if there were any injuries, he said, "It's normal for children to fight and quarrel. Don't take it to heart." Li Chen. This is because his daughter didn't suffer any loss. If she really suffered any loss, would she try it? He suspected that if he turned around, he would be beaten until his legs became weak. Responded with tears in his eyes, "The battalion commander is right." Just at this moment, Lin Wanshu also arrived. When she saw that Xiao Miao Miao was not injured and just her clothes were a little dirty. "Miao Miao, what happened? Why did you fight with others?" Lin Wanshu touched her little head and asked.
"He's bad."
Humph. The little guy was so angry that he crossed his arms over his chest, and his mouth was so pouty that 2 pounds of pork could be hung on it. On the side said in a clattering voice, he scolded his aunt. Miao Miao got angry and beat him. Li Chen got even angrier when he heard that his own son actually dared to scold an adult. After slapping him on the head, he glared at him and said, "What's wrong with you?
How dare you scold your aunt? Who taught you that?"
Mao Mao pouted his lips and turned his head to the side with an expression of unwillingness to admit defeat. "My mom said that her mother is a bad person. She wins people's hearts and makes everyone stop playing with her. I hate her." Li Chen's forehead were throbbing, and even his voice sounded like it was squeezed out from between his teeth. "Is this what your mother taught you?" Mao Mao stiffened his neck and said nothing. "Well, you're great. I'll show you how I'll deal with you when I get back." After that, Li Cheng said to Lin Wanru with an embarrassed look on his face, "Sister-in-law, I'm sorry, my Hongmei is talking nonsense."
"I will talk to her when I get back."
Hearing this, Lin Wanshu realized that they were from Guan Hongmei's family. However, what happened between her and Guan Hongmei had nothing to do with Li Yicheng, and she didn't suffer any loss, so Lin Wanshu didn't intend to make a fuss about it. It doesn't matter. She is not money. How can she be liked by everyone? As long as she doesn't cause trouble to herself, it will be fine. Guan Hongmei dances in front of her again. She will not be polite to her. Li Chen felt even more ashamed. He also heard that Lin Wanshu was going to set up a pharmaceutical factory. If it succeeded, at least half of the military wives would be able to work in the factory. With such a good opportunity, his wife not only did not try to build relationships, but also did things that offended people. He was almost crying because of her stupidity. Lin Wanshu did not stay long and left the threshing ground, preparing to go home. But they had not walked far when they ran into 6 or 7 children running towards them. Qin Yan was afraid that they would bump into Lin Wanshu, so he stood in front of her without making a sound. After a while, the children rushed to the front. "Sister, I heard you had a fight with someone. How was it? Were you hurt anywhere?" The 2 brothers Shin Xiai and Shin Yu ran the fastest. Shin Yu ignored Qin Yan's stabbing look and directly grabbed Xiao Miao Miao's hand and asked anxiously. When Xiao Miao Miao saw his little friend coming, he refused to let his father hold him and struggled to get down. Qin Yan, seeing his daughter being so disloyal, he felt very upset. In the end, I couldn't persuade the little girl anymore and had to let her down. The other children also gathered around. "Sister, who hit you? Tell your brother quickly, and I will help you beat him up." Xiao Jianxi had already rolled up his sleeves and said angrily, "My sister is so cute. Who is this jerk who dares to do that to her?" The other few people also looked like they were ready to help her get revenge. But who would have thought that Miao Miao would proudly put her hands on her hips and say, "Miao Miao won." Hearing this, the children were shocked. "Miao Miao, how did you become so powerful?" Shin Yu asked in disbelief. "Is this still his sweet and soft little sister?" Shin Xiai was also a little surprised, but after the surprise, a hint of pride appeared on his face. "Miao Miao, if you want to learn how to fight, I will teach you later." After hearing this, the others were not willing to be outdone and said they could teach. Lin Wanshu. Her little Miao Miao will turn into a Barbie doll? After the group returned, as soon as they entered the door, Lin Wanshu heard the chirping of chickens. "Did the hen hatch the chicks?" she said with some surprise. When Xiao Miao Miao heard the sound of the chicks, how could she stay there? He took a step forward with his short legs and ran to the kitchen. It turned out that Lin Wanshu had built a nest for the hens in the corner of the firewood pile in the kitchen. Hens lay eggs very quickly, at least 2 a day. After giving birth to about 20 chicks, Lin Wanshu let it hatch chicks. Calculating the time, it is about time for the chick to hatch. The chick that Xiao Miao Miao got last time was later taken back by Lin Wanshu and returned to Ji Hualan. After all, there was only one chicken. The weather was so cold, and without the mother hen to protect it, she was afraid that the chick would freeze to death. Xiao Miao Miao has been feeling resentful about this, and now when she hears the chick's voice, how can she bear it anymore? However, the hen that had just hatched the chicks was very fierce. Lin Wanshu was afraid that the little ones would be pecked by the hen, so she hurried after them. Meow meow, don't get close. The mother hen will bite you. Seeing that the little one had already walked to the chicken coop, Lin Wanshu hurriedly reminded him. But unexpectedly, Xiao Miao Miao was so quick that she had already caught a chick. Lin Wanshu's heart was in her throat. Qin Yan walked forward quickly, trying to pull the little guy away. However, the hen in the chicken coop did not get angry at all. Instead, she kept clucking happily at Xiao Miao Miao. Not only that, she also pushed the other chick in front of Xiao Miao Miao. It's as if saying, if you like it, I'll give it to you. Couple remembered that their daughter was particularly attractive to small animals, and they both breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Miao Miao was holding a tender yellow fluffy chick in her hands, and she was making chirp sounds. Obviously, she loved this little thing very much. The other chick that was sent out by the hen became anxious when she saw that Xiao Miao Miao ignored her. It kept calling out at her feet, turning around and waving its fluffy little wings, trying to jump up. Xinyu decided to lend a hand to help it. But before the chicks were even touched, the hen suddenly became angry. It stretched out its sharp beak and pecked at his hand hard. Xinyu didn't expect the hen to peck him suddenly, and he screamed, "Ah!" Lin Wanshu saw this. She hurriedly pulled him up. "Xinyu, how is your hand? Let me take a look." Xinyu is at the age where he cares about his reputation. Besides, his sister is still here. How can a man like him say that he feels pain? Holding back tears, he put his hands behind his back and said calmly, "Aunt, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt at all." Xiao Jianxi, who was standing by, saw this. He started to laugh without any politeness. "Aunt, he lied." I saw his eyes turn red. "Xinyu." This jerk wanted to embarrass him in front of his sister. Xinyu had just glared at Feng Jianxi when he heard Xiao Miao Miao ask with concern, "Brother, are you in pain?" Hearing this, Xinyu, who was originally very strong, quickly stretched out his hand and said with a pitiful face, "Miao Miao, my hand is injured. Please help me blow it." When Xiao Miao Miao saw that his hands were all red, she didn't hesitate and pouted her lips to blow on him. Xinyu's eyes lit up, and he waited expectantly for his sister's caring blow. But he didn't expect that before Xiao Miao Miao could blow it, his hand was pulled away by Shen Xiai. "I'll blow you." Xinyu's expectant expression was frozen on his face. When he came to his senses, he gritted his teeth and said, "Then I really, really want to thank you." Shen Xiai, "You're welcome, we are brothers." Xinyu, "Darn brother, he finally figured it out, he is a black-hearted guy." Xiao Miao Miao saw Shen Xiai blowing Xinyu's hands. She ignored it and instead concentrated on playing with the chicken. After a while, more chicks came out. The chicks hatched, Lin Wanshu put the hen and the chicks into the cage. The cage was quite spacious, with a long bamboo tube on the side and a small plate inside filled with some water. All the eggs the hen hatched this time were successful, and not a single one was bad. Lin Wanshu poured the feed prepared in advance into the bamboo tube. After a while, the chicks came over and ate. The hen didn't eat the feed, so when the chicks were eating the feed, Lin Wanshu put a basin with mixed chicken feed next to the chicken coop, and soon the hen jumped out to eat. Xiao Miao Miao looked at the hen, then at the chicks, and was so busy that she didn't even care about her brothers and sisters. Finally, Xinyu and the others felt bored and went out to play, leaving Shen Xiai and Wang Wei alone to play with Xiao Miao Miao. Shen Xiai glanced at Wang Wei and suddenly spoke. "Wang Wei, Wang Wei was watching the chicks with Xiao Miao Miao. Hearing this, he responded without turning his head.
What do you want me to do?
Shen Xiai, I heard your sister calling you. Upon hearing this, Wang Wei stood up reflexively.
Where?
Shen Xiai pointed westward. The sound came from the direction of your home. Oh, I see. Thank you. Knowing that his sister was calling him, Wang Wei dared not stay any longer and ran away. Soon, only Shen Xiai and Xiao Miao Miao were left next to the chicken coop. Miao Miao played for a while and finally got bored. Then she heard Shen Xiai say, Miao Miao, do you want to learn fighting from your brother? When Xiao Miao Miao heard the word, fighting, her eyes suddenly lit up. Little Head is also nodding wildly. Miao Miao wants to fight. She didn't know what fighting was, but she had seen her brothers train and fight, so she followed their example and gave Mao Mao a shoulder throw. The two quickly found a place and started practicing fighting skills. Lin Wanshu looked at it and was very confused. She wanted to say something, but when she saw Xiao Miao Miao's excited look, she swallowed the words back. Well, if she likes it, let her learn it. At least you can protect yourself after learning it, right? In the end, she didn't care anymore and went to get the glutinous rice to make glutinous rice flour. It's just a few days away, and I still have a lot of work to do tomorrow, so I might as well make the glutinous rice cakes today. The glutinous rice was taken out. Yu Fong Fong came. Wan Wan, what kind of rice cake are you going to make for the new year? I don't know how to make it.
Help me.
Lin Wanshu raised the glutinous rice in her hand. We all make glutinous rice cakes over there. They are simple and delicious. Do you want to make some with us? Hearing this, Yu Fong Fong's eyes lit up. Wan Wan, you are really a worm in my stomach. You even know what I am thinking. As she said that, she took out the glutinous rice that she had hidden behind her back. I knew you would invite me, so I made preparations early. Lin Wanshu. Small construction. Silently and pretend that you don't exist. Yu Fong Fong didn't feel guilty at all about having hooked up with Lin Wanshu again. After asking her what she was going to do, he followed Lin Wanshu happily and busied himself with her. The main character looks like a person who doesn't understand, but has a good attitude. After a while, many more military wives came over. Each of them was holding a basket of vegetables. But unlike Yu Fong Fong, the military wives' vegetable baskets were filled with rice cakes they made themselves. Wanshu, this is fried dough sticks. We make this every Chinese New Year. I'll give you some to try. Zhong Fengshu opened her basket, revealing something yellow and orange-like inside. Lin Wanshu also smelled the unique scent of peanut oil. It smells so good. Fengshu, did you fry this in oil? Zhong Fengshu smiled and nodded. Well, I planted some peanuts this year, waiting to fry these during the Chinese New Year. When Yu Fong Fong saw it, she couldn't help swallowing. Fengshu, you're biased. You gave it to Wan Wan but not to me. She pretended to be hurt and looked at Zhong Fengshu. Zhong Fengshu looked at her rogue appearance and nodded her head with both anger and amusement. When did I get food? When I came here just now. I had already left a plate at your house, but you were not at home, so you came to Wanshu's place again. Yu Fong Fong just laughed. I don't know how to make rice cakes. Come over here and let Wan Wan teach me. When I'm done, I'll send you a plate. It's nothing like borrowing flowers to offer to Buddha. Yu Fong Fong did it very easily. Everyone else was used to her roguery and didn't say anything. You're so lucky. You live next to Wanshu and can get everything. I want to move to another house with you. Tang Qian said enviously as she took out the meat cake she made. The other two military wives, one made glutinous rice cakes wrapped in banana leaves, and the other made big meat buns and steamed buns. The military wives come from all over the country, and during the Chinese New Year they usually make rice cakes from their hometowns and give them to the military wives they get along well with. People who receive rice cakes will usually give back a delicacy from their hometown. After a while, Lin Wanshu's table was filled with various kinds of rice cakes. I don't know when Xiao Miao Miao came back. She looked at this, then looked at that, and for a moment she didn't know which one to eat first. My eyes are almost dazzled by the selection. The military wives thought her embarrassed look was so adorable that they couldn't help but tease the baby. Meow meow, try this fried dough fritter made by Auntie. It's fragrant, sweet, and crispy. It's delicious. Zhong Fengshu tempted her with a yellow fried dough stick. Meow meow, this one from Auntie is even more delicious. It's filled with sesame stuffing, so fragrant. Yangzheng also picked up her own rice cake, not wanting to be left behind. Xiao Miao Miao was so troubled that her eyebrows furrowed, but in the end, she just accepted them all. Holding a few kinds of rice cakes, she ran out happily to share her delicious food with her friends. Lin Wanshu put the glutinous rice flour into a bowl, added water, and prepared to stir it. Yu Fong stopped her. Wan, just tell me what to do, and let me do it. After all, she now has another one. How could she dare to really let her work hard? If she gets hurt from overwork, won't Qin Yan be angry with her? Hearing this, Lin Wanshu did not refuse and gave her the seat. Under Lin Wanshu's instruction, Yu Fong quickly stirred half a basin of glutinous rice flour into a paste. Lin Wanshu took out the steaming tray that she had just washed and asked Yu Fong to pour the porridge into it. Wan, why does it feel like making snowy mooncakes? Just that the ingredients of snow skin mooncakes are not added to this paste. This is not a snowy mooncake. This is a glutinous rice cake. You'll know in a moment. It's fragrant, sticky, sweet, and delicious. Upon hearing this, Yu Fong immediately became excited. Just roll up your sleeves and work hard. Pouring the paste into the steaming tray, put into the pot to steam. While the pot was being steamed, Lin Wanshu was frying soybeans on the other side. After a while, the whole house was filled with the aroma of fried soybeans. Others came over to watch out of curiosity. Just then, Ji Hualan's excited voice suddenly came from the door. Wanshu, good news. Hearing the good news, the military wives all turned their heads. Hualan, what's the good news? That's right. Is the army going to give us pork? Ji Hualan had already walked into the kitchen. Her breathing was still a little heavy, and it was obvious that she had run here. It's not about giving out pork, it's something even more joyful than giving out pork. Seeing her face flushed with excitement, Lin Wanshu had a vague guess in her mind. What good news? Is money going to fall from the sky? She said jokingly. Other military wives were extremely curious. Yes, what good news could make us happier than the distribution of pork? Hualan, please stop keeping us in suspense. Ji Hualan took a few breaths before loudly announcing, we are planning to set up a pharmaceutical factory, and the higher-ups have approved it. Hearing this, the military wives were all stunned, as if they couldn't believe what they heard. Tang Qian was the first to react. She grabbed Ji Hualan's hand to confirm. Is it true? Did the higher-ups really approve us to set up a factory? Everyone held their breath and stared at Ji Hualan with burning eyes. Ji Hualan was no longer panting as heavily, but her hand was still tightly held by Tang Qian, and the smile on her face was very bright. It's absolutely true. I just received the notice and came over to tell Wanshu right away. Getting confirmation, everyone dared to believe it was true, and instantly, the whole kitchen erupted in warm cheers. It's true, Wanshu, did you hear that? The pharmaceutical factory you applied for has been approved. Wang Chunling said excitedly to Lin Wanshu. Lin Wanshu was also very happy. I heard it. We will have our own pharmaceutical factory in the future. This is great news for military wives. Before, because they were afraid that Lin Wanshu would feel stressed, no one dared to come and ask about her progress. After all, running a factory is not that simple. The application process may take a year or two. I didn't expect the approval to be so quick this time. How long has it been since the application was approved? How could the military wives not be happy about this? That afternoon, the news that the pharmaceutical factory had been approved spread throughout the entire family compound. The military wives who had not yet returned were all very excited. Only Guan Hongmei, who had just had an argument with Li Yicheng, turned pale as a ghost. Old Li, is the news out there true? Did the factory that Lin Wanshu applied for really get approved? She stared at Li Yicheng with her eyes wide open. Li Yicheng looked at her with a complicated expression, then he sighed deeply. It's true. The news came from Director Ji. Hearing this, Guan Hongmei collapsed on the spot. The words she had said flashed through her mind. If Lin Wanshu could really set up a factory, she would write her name backwards. Now it seems that the clown is actually himself. Lao Li, then. What should I do? I have already offended everyone. Li Chen rubbed his hair with both hands, feeling annoyed and depressed. What can I do about the trouble you caused? Can't you ask the battalion commander for mercy? As much pleasure Guan Hongmei felt when she ridiculed Lin Wanshu at that time, she regrets it now. But she had already said it. How embarrassing would it be if she was found now? Hearing this, Li Chen looked at her in disbelief.
You
Want me to go to our battalion commander to ask for mercy? Guan Hongmei nodded. She couldn't let her go, could she? After all, she had been in such a mess with Lin Wanshu, she couldn't afford to lose face. Li Chen thought that she must be crazy, otherwise why would she say such a thing? That's the living devil. Entire group didn't know how much he liked Lin Wanshu. He was afraid that she would melt if he put her in his mouth, and he was afraid that she would fall if he held her in his hands. His wife had offended the person he loved most, and he was thankful that she didn't cause trouble for him. How dare he take the initiative to approach her? You think your life is too long? Hongmei, if you don't have this job, then forget it. I can earn a salary and you won't starve. Saving your life is important. But that's a job. How can Guan Hongmei be willing to do that? He having a job is different from me having a job. Your own money however you want, with confidence, and without having to worry about other people's feelings. No one knows better than her how difficult it is to live with your hands held high. Li Cheng, why are you so useless? You refuse to talk to the battalion commander. Are you still a man? Hearing this, Li Chen smiled coldly. Now you know to ask me to intercede? What were you doing before? You have a good time but you insist on doing this, and then you want to clean up the mess yourself? She has such a beautiful thought. Hearing him say this, Guan Hongmei muttered something guiltily. How do I know she can really do it? Li Cheng was too lazy to argue with her. If you want to go by yourself. I don't have the ability or the face to plead for you. After saying that, he got up and went out. Guan Hongmei saw that he really had no intention of helping her, and she was furious. Finally, she stamped her feet and angrily cursed. Li Cheng, you coward. If you don't go, I'll go by myself. As she spoke, she rummaged through the drawers at home to see if there was anything she could give away. But after searching for a long time, I found that there was really nothing good at home except the freshly made lard cake. Lard is a good thing. She usually doesn't use too much of it when cooking. It's not a question of money, but because she doesn't have the meat coupons. Finally saved up some meat coupons to buy some lard in advance to make lard cakes, and was asked to give it to others, but she was a little reluctant. But when she thought of the job at the pharmaceutical factory, Guan Hongmei gritted her teeth and cut off a piece. But after cutting it, she felt like there was too much, so after thinking about it, she cut a little more and put it back. In the end, only a palm-sized lard cake was left, which she put into a vegetable basket. Then he took out 4 or 5 eggs, put them in the basket, and went out. On the other hand, Lin Wanshu quickly made the glutinous rice cakes with the help of the military wives. The hot glutinous rice cake is wrapped in fragrant soybean powder and sprinkled with roasted sesame seeds. It is so delicious. Lin Wanshu was not stingy either. She cut out a large plate and served it to the military wives to taste. The children have been eating at various restaurants these past few days, and now they have finally waited for the rice cakes from Lin Wanshu's house. They are all very happy. Each of them held a piece of glutinous rice cake, and the little ones happily ran out to play again. The military wives sat in the kitchen, eating glutinous rice cakes and chatting. They still had a lot of things to do, after all the new year was approaching. But when they thought about the pharmaceutical factory opening soon, the military wives became extremely excited. They kept chattering and had no intention of leaving. What is the Chinese New Year? Is it important to have a job during the Chinese New Year? Everyone was chatting, and after a while, Guan Hongmei came over. Seeing so many people in the room, she felt a little embarrassed, so she laughed and said, "Why are there so many people here?" The people in the room were chatting animatedly, and when they saw it was Guan Hongmei, their expressions became very subtle.
Oh,
I was wondering who it was. It turns out to be you, Guan Hongmei. What brings you here to Wanshu? Yang Zheng said sarcastically. She knew exactly how she had reported Lin Wanshu and how she had mocked her behind her back. Hearing this, Guan Hongmei's smile froze on her face, and her face turned red. She gritted her teeth, endured the burning sensation on her face, and said, I heard from my husband, Mr. Li, that my son beat Miao Miao this morning. I came here specially to apologize to Sister Wanshu.
Tan Qian's ne.
We had a fight in the morning, but you came here in the afternoon, not too early or too late, and after the news of the successful application to the pharmaceutical factory came out? Guan Hongmei, are you stupid, or do you think we are all stupid? Hongmei felt even more embarrassed when her purpose was ruthlessly exposed. She hadn't even entered the kitchen or seen Lin Wanshu, but she was already being harassed by someone. Biting her lip, she decided to pretend she didn't hear anything and stood on tiptoe to look inside. Where's Sister Wanshu? Is she in there? Lin Wanshu was standing next to the stove and was speechless when she heard her calling her sister-in-law all the time. Finally, he walked to the door reluctantly. What do you want to talk to me about? Lin Wanshu asked calmly, with no intention of inviting her in. What else could it be? He must have seen that the pharmaceutical company had been approved, so he came here to use his connections. Wang Chunling rolled her eyes. She had no good face towards such people who would not do anything without profit. After being stepped on the face repeatedly, Guan Hongmei finally couldn't bear it anymore and retorted. What's wrong with me coming here to use connections? Aren't you the same as me? Don't tell me that those things on the table were not given by you but were given by you because of connections. Who is more noble than who? Hearing this, Yang Zheng was delighted. No, we're different from you. Even if we don't have a factory, given our friendship with Wanshu, we will definitely send her rice cakes during the Chinese New Year. We are not like some people. Just after they said that if the pharmaceutical factory is approved, the name will be written backwards, they came to our door with the goods in their hands. TSK, 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 isn't it embarrassing? The most frightening scene finally came. Before was now used to slap Guan Hongmei in the face. Her face turned blue and red, and she felt embarrassed and awkward. In the end, she chose to ignore these people and instead looked at Lin Wanshu with a pleading look. Sister Wanshu, I was blind and inexperienced. I came here to apologize to you this time. I hope you can be magnanimous and not take the nonsense I said before seriously. After saying that, Guan Hongmei opened the basket in her hand. This is the lard cake I made. I brought it here specially for Miao Miao to try. She was obviously confident in the lard cake she made. After all, who could refuse such a good thing as lard? If it weren't for work, she wouldn't be willing to take it out. Lin Wanshu was speechless as she watched her hand a palm-sized piece of lard cake to her with a painful look on her face. It's just a few words. I won't take it seriously. You don't need the lard cake. You can take it back. Seeing that she was unmoved, Guan Hongmei began to doubt her ears.
You
haven't forgiven me at all? That's why you won't accept my lard cake? Yang Zheng was amused by her words. Just because you apologize doesn't mean others will forgive you. As for the fact that you reported someone before, Wanshu didn't kick you out. She was already giving you face for the sake of your man. Do you have to be so blunt? Whenever someone came to apologize in the morning, she would still look at her with a higher regard. But she chose to visit the pharmaceutical factory only after it was approved. Who can't see this utilitarian face? Heard her mention that she had reported Lin Wanshu before, her face turned purple. That's all misunderstanding. I'm doing this for sister-in-law, Wanshu's own good. Aren't I afraid that someone might see this and do something bad to her? Upon hearing this, Yu Fangfang rolled her eyes. We are in the army. Who would dare to come here and cause trouble? I'm afraid the person you are talking about is not you, right? She reported the person before any outsiders arrived. After reporting it, she said it was for the other person's good. How can she be so shameless? If that's the case, since your family has 3 hens, I have to report this to Hualan. Don't thank me. I'm doing this for your own good. Tang Qian sneered back, without any politeness. If we strictly follow the outside standards, raising 3 hens will also be considered capitalist. Hearing this, Guan Hongmei's face changed. How do you know I have 3 chickens? She lives in a family building and cannot raise chickens upstairs. The military wives who live in the building can only raise chickens in the designated area downstairs. Everyone followed the rules and only kept 2. Guan Hongmei specially found a hidden place. One except herself. Even Li Yicheng didn't know about it. So, how did Tang Qian know? Yang Zheng found it somewhat amusing. If you don't want people to know, then don't do it. As for the things you did in private, who doesn't know about it? It's just that we live in the same family compound and don't want to make things so ugly, so people are too lazy to say anything about you. Hearing this, a trace of guilt flashed across Guan Hongmei's face. But soon, she calmed down again, glared at Yang Zheng and said, "Don't accuse me here. What did I do? Are you trying to put the blame on me?" Yang Zheng didn't expect that there would be people who wouldn't cry until they saw the coffin. Since she doesn't care about her face anymore, there is no need for her to be polite to her. Last August, there was a heavy rainstorm. Everyone was draining the crops. Who secretly dug a hole in the neighbor's field and drained the water into someone else's field, almost drowning their crops. You wouldn't say this was for others, right? I heard about it too. Everyone was cooking in the hallway, and you secretly scooped up a spoonful of oil from them. Some time ago, Shinran said that when you passed by her house, her baby started crying loudly, and her butt was bruised when she took a bath at night.
Did you do that too?
The military wives were talking one after another about all the bad things Guan Hongmei had done. Every word, Guan Hongmei's face turned paler, and in the end, she seemed to be on the verge of collapse.
No. Impossible.
How could they know? She was so secretive. Looking at her expression, Lin Wanshu knew that what the military wives said was true. Suddenly, her eyes were opened. She remembered that it was Mao Mao who said in the morning that Guan Hongmei was isolated by other military wives. She originally thought it was because of her who reported someone privately. Now it seems that this is not the case at all. Her doing such sneaky things would stay away from her, right? Some people talk about being righteous and moral, but in private they are more filthy than anyone else. Tang Qian said with disdain. Although she likes to take advantage of others, she always does it openly and never does anything sneaky in private. Comrade Guan, please go back. I'm busy now and don't have time to greet you. Lin Wanshu gestured to her with a fake smile. Guan Hongmei was unwilling to give in. If she didn't deliver the lard cakes, she wouldn't have a job and she didn't want to leave at all. But when she saw the mocking eyes in the room, she knew clearly that there would be no result if she stayed any longer. Finally, she could only force a smile and said, Well, I'll come back when you're not busy. Anyway, it's impossible to ask her to give up this job. Even if she knew that people would roll their eyes and humiliate her, she would still come again. Looking at Guan Hongmei's leaving back, Lin Wanshu was speechless. Is this relying on her? Wanshu, don't be afraid. I'll scold her for you every time she comes. Tang Qian rolled up her sleeves, looking like she would never let anyone bully her. Yes, Wanshu, if you need any help, just shout. You don't have to be soft-hearted when dealing with people like this. He says one thing to your face and another behind your back. He talks only about ideology but only cares about his own interests. If you really associate with her, you'll be taken advantage of by her in the end without even knowing it. The military wives gave her advice one after another, as if they were all afraid that she would suffer a loss. To see that they all treated themselves like little white rabbits, afraid of being tricked by the big bad wolf. But she was still very grateful. I know. I won't be soft-hearted. The best we can do is maintain superficial harmony, nothing more. Seeing that she listened to advice, the military wives felt relieved. As the year was coming to an end, everyone actually had a lot of things to do, so in the end they didn't stay any longer, and just said goodbye and left one by one. Lin Wanshu packed a plate of glutinous rice cakes for each of them to take back. Only when there is give and take can a relationship last. The military wives said a few polite words and accepted the glutinous rice cakes she gave them. The adults went back, but the children did not follow them and continued to play with Lin Wanshu. The whole yard was still bustling with activity. The children were playing Eagle Catches Chicken. Wang Qingqing was the hen, and Xinyu was the eagle. Xiao Miaomiao grabbed the hem of Feng Jian's clothes and swung them around behind him, laughing and shouting, having a lot of fun. After a while, a timid little head popped out of the door. Wang Qingqing saw it with her sharp eyes and waved at her. Dohua, come and play games. You be the chicken, and I will protect you. Dohua looked a little shy and didn't dare to step forward. The children have been playing with her for a while and are quite familiar with her. Wang Qingqing simply ran over and led her over. Let her stand behind Xiao Miaomiao and grab the hem of Xiao Miaomiao's clothes. Then, she patiently explained the rules to her. You'll have to follow me later. Don't get caught by the eagle, okay? Qiu Tingting didn't want to play such a childish game, but they all wanted to play it, so she had to swallow her pride and act like a chick. Now seeing Xiao Dohua's timid appearance, somehow she suddenly remembered herself in the ward before. Her heart softened, and she said gently, Don't worry, Dohua, just follow closely, we will protect you. Xiao Miaomiao also turned around, stood on tiptoe, imitated her mother, touched her head and said, Sister, don't be afraid. From the children made Dohua relax a lot. On the corner of her lips at some point. She nodded and grabbed Xiao Miaomiao's clothes tightly. Soon, the game of eagle catching chickens began again. Wang Qingqing stretched out her arms, firmly guarding the group of chicks behind her. The long line swayed back and forth following her movements. And Shenyu is also a powerful eagle. I almost caught the chicken behind me several times. The tense and exciting game made the children scream and laugh. Even Dohua started laughing at some point. As soon as Feng Qiuyan entered the room, she saw her daughter smiling brightly, and her heart was immediately excited. Dohua's life. She seemed to have never seen her smile so happily. Lin Wanshu happened to be walking out of the kitchen. Seeing her coming, she hurriedly called out, Qiuyan, come quickly. I made some glutinous rice cakes. Try them and see if they are delicious. Feng Qiuyan is now quite familiar with Lin Wanshu and is no longer as nervous as she was at the beginning. Carrying the backpack, he walked towards her. No need, Wanshu. I'm here to bring you medicine. She smiled shyly. I don't know if it's because she has eggs for every meal during this period, but her complexion looks a little better. But after all, she has been working hard for many years, so her skin is still a little dry and yellow. The girl is only in her 20s, but she looks like she is in her early 30s. Lin Wanshu was already familiar with her temper, so she joked with a hint of resentment. So many sisters-in-law have eaten just now. Are you afraid that my cooking skills are not good enough for you to eat? Hearing this, Feng Qiuyan quickly waved her hands, her face filled with shock and panic.
No.
No, why would I think that? She was good enough for her. Feng Qiuyan was afraid that because of her greed, she would lose this precious care. Lin Wanshu looked at her at a loss and felt a little sad. What a simple person. Just like millions of Chinese farmers in this era, although they have no money and no education, they still maintain a simple heart. Qiuyan, you have helped me a lot by picking so many herbs. I will treat you to some glutinous rice cakes. It's not worth it. Please don't be so formal with me. After hearing this, Feng Qiuyan nodded in acceptance. Okay. Don't be shy. Lin Wanshu brought out a small plate of glutinous rice cakes, put 2 skewers on it, and moved a stool for her. You sit here and eat. I'll take a look at the herbs you picked this time. Feng Qiuyan held the small plate and sat down somewhat awkwardly. He carefully put a piece of glutinous rice cake into his mouth. The soft, sweet, and fragrant rice cake, mixed with the aroma of fried soybeans and sesame seeds, filled her mouth, and Feng Qiuyan's eyes widened. Is this what glutinous rice cake tastes like? It's really delicious. In fact, Feng Qiuyan's hometown also makes this kind of rice cake, but her family is poor, so they rarely make it. Even if they can barely make a little, they will give it away as a gift. Mother told her since she was a child that these glutinous rice cakes were to be given to others, and they were not to be eaten. But Feng Qiuyan still caught it several times that her mother secretly gave glutinous rice cakes to her brother and sister. Feng Qiuyan was ignorant when she was young, and even asked her mother about it. The result was just a beating. Later, Fang Qiuyan found out that it wasn't everyone who couldn't eat the rice cake, it was just her. Later, she got married, and her husband was her sister's fiancé. From then on, her life became even more difficult. Not to mention glutinous rice cakes, even sweet potato porridge is a luxury. Only bland food every day, and when she was hungry, she could only go up the mountain to pick up something to fill her stomach. When she ate the sweet and soft glutinous rice cake, tears suddenly flowed down her face. Afraid that Lin Wanshu would see it, Fang Qiuyan secretly turned her head away and wiped the tears from her cheeks. Lin Wanshu still heard the suppressed sob and immediately felt very uncomfortable. How much injustice had she suffered that she would cry just because of a bite of glutinous rice cake? But Lin Wanshu didn't plan to say anything. She even pretended not to know that she was crying. Inappropriate concern may sometimes hurt others' sensitive and fragile self-esteem. She poured the herbs she had collected into the winnowing basket. Lin Wanshu originally thought that she should be picking the same common herbs as last time. However, she didn't expect that there were some herbs in the winnowing basket that she had never told the military wives about. Lin Wanshu picked up one of the bundles and asked in surprise, "Qiuyan, do you know this herb?" Hearing this, Qiuyan no longer cared about being sad and hurriedly asked, "Wanshu, is there anything wrong with this medicine?"
I
also smelled that the medicine you prescribed for my daughter seemed to contain this, so I picked some back." Hearing this, Lin Wanshu was somewhat shocked. "You mean you smelled it? You don't recognize these drugs?" Fang Qiuyan nodded and couldn't help but pinch the hem of her clothes, looking extremely nervous. "Did I pick the wrong one?" Lin Wanshu looked at her with a complicated expression. This medicine is not only correct, but also of high quality. In addition to the bundle in her hand, there were 2 other kinds of medicine that she prescribed for Dohua last time on the winnowing basket. Unable to hold back, she asked, "Qiuyan, is your sense of smell particularly sensitive? Otherwise, how can you tell which herbs they are just by smelling them? After all, those medicines have been processed." Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan nodded hesitantly. "I have had a different sense of smell since I was a child. When I passed by the brigade's granary, I could smell what kind of grain was stored inside." Lin Wanshu. She had only seen this kind of extraordinary sense of smell in Qin Yan. Now, there's a female version? In order to verify her idea, Lin Wanshu took her back to the pharmacy and took out a Chinese medicine pill for her to smell. "Smell it and see what kinds of medicine are used to make this pill." Although Fang Qiuyan didn't know why Lin Wanshu asked her to smell this, but she wouldn't argue with her. "I'll give it a try." As she said that, she took the pill and put it to her nose and sniffed it. Then, he walked to the row of medicine cabinets and began to search. Took out some herbs from the corresponding drawers according to Lin Wanshu's request and placed them on the paper that Lin Wanshu had spread out. By the time she had taken all the medicine, Lin Wanshu was already numb. What kind of innate medicinal holy body is this? Fang Qiuyan couldn't help but feel nervous again. Could it be that I did something wrong? If she messes up what she asked her to do, will she still be nice to herself in the future? Fang Qiuyan looked at Lin Wanshu eagerly. After a long while, Lin Wanshu finally spoke. "Qiuyan, do you want to learn medicine?" Upon hearing this, Fang Qiuyan, who was still thinking about random things in her mind, was stunned. When she realized what Lin Wanshu said, she was shocked. She waved her hands and said, I can't do it. I can't even read. How can I make medicine? What if I make a mistake? Wouldn't that harm people?" "It's not that I can't, it's that I don't want to." Lin Wanshu still heard it. "Learning is not difficult. If you want to learn, I can teach you." Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan was stunned again. Literacy? She can too? The image of her brother and sister carrying their school bags to school every day when they were children flashed through Fang Qiuyan's mind, and a hint of longing flashed in her eyes. But soon, she lowered her eyes again and said in a voice as soft as a mosquito, I can't do it. I was born to be a farmer. Reading and learning to read are not something I should think about." Hearing this, it was not difficult for Lin Wanshu to imagine how she had been brainwashed in the past. "Qiuyan, no one is born to farm. In fact, I am from the countryside just like you. My mother passed away early, and I have been working in the fields, washing clothes and cooking since I was a child. I had no idea where to eat, so when I was hungry, I would go up the mountain to look for food. When Feng Qiuyan heard her say that she was from the same village, her eyes widened immediately.
How?
How is that possible? You don't look like a country girl at all. She is so white and has such good skin. She is prettier than anyone in the city, like a fairy. It's hard to imagine that her childhood was exactly the same as hers. Lin Wanshu pursed her lips and smiled. I am indeed from the countryside. You can find out by asking other sisters-in-law. After hearing her confirmation again, Feng Qiuyan finally believed that she was really from the countryside.
Then,
how did you learn to read? After all, she has a stepmother who can't even get enough food to eat, so how could she let her go to school? Speaking of this, Lin Wanshu's eyes became a little dim. After a pause, she slowly spoke. I was unwilling to live like this for the rest of my life. My family didn't give me money to go to school, so I secretly went to the school window to listen and wrote on the ground with branches. Later, she was discovered, and Lin Wanshu originally thought that she would be driven away. Unexpectedly, the teacher Meng Huaying, who was teaching at the time, not only did not chase her away, but also moved a stool for her and allowed her to listen to the class openly outside the window. Later on, she also found her old books, used exercise books, and discarded pencil ends. Lin Wanshu was not afraid of trouble, so she wiped off the words on the exercise book and continued to use it. She wiped the exercise book repeatedly until it was almost torn and finally threw it away. Like this until she graduated from elementary school. One day, teacher Meng Huaying asked her if she would like to continue studying. Lin Wanshu didn't even have a penny in her pocket. How could she dare to think of such a thing? Later, teacher Meng Huaying said that as long as she wanted to go, she could support her. Lin Wanshu didn't understand why she was so nice to her, but her desire to study made her nod and agree. Lin Wanshu was grateful for her kindness to her, and every time she came back from school, she would collect firewood for her and help her with this and that. At that time, she was busy every day and wished she could make the most of every minute. Lin Wanshu thought to herself that she must study hard and repay teacher Meng in the future.
but she didn't wait until that day.
Taking the junior high school graduation photos, teacher Meng Huaying passed away in an accident. Lin Wanshu heard that she was on her way looking for a female student and happened to encounter a rainstorm, so she slipped and rolled down the mountain. By the time the villagers found her, it was too late. This incident has always been a pain in Lin Wanshu's heart. In her previous life, in order to commemorate this mentor, she donated many Meng Huaying Hope primary schools. She continued this charitable activity until her death. When Feng Qiuyan heard her talk about her past, the confusion and cowardice in her eyes gradually disappeared. Instead, there was wonder and admiration. With the same fate, he refused to give up and worked hard to get to where he is today. But she made herself and Dohua live a humble and miserable life. Qiuyan, being born in poverty is not a terrible thing. What is terrible is losing the courage to fight against fate. In her previous life, Lin Wanshu had already opened her own factory. It can be said that even without space, she can still live a rich life that ordinary people can hardly imagine. She achieved all of these step by step. To be born in poverty, what is scary is to lose the courage to fight against fate. These words were like the sound of a huge bell from the sky, striking Feng Qiuyan's heart heavily. She was so shocked that she couldn't control herself for a long time. Yes, she doesn't even have the courage to fight. So how can she protect her tofu pudding? She is so sensible and considerate. I shouldn't live as humbly as her because of me. Wanshu, I want to study. Please help me. Grabbed Lin Wanshu's hand as if she had grabbed a life-saving straw. Lin Wanshu looked relieved. She really didn't want to watch such a talented person being buried like this. But she still gave her a shot of prevention in advance. Let me make it clear first, studying is a bit hard. If you have decided to study, you can't give up halfway. Hearing this, Feng Qiuyan nodded desperately. I am not afraid of hardship. No matter how hard it is to study, can it be compared to the suffering of being hungry and cold? Worst time, She even thought she would freeze to death in the winter of her 15th year. But she didn't. She made it through. The person standing in front of her now is a ready-made example. She is like a ray of light, illuminating the way forward and giving Feng Qiuyan the courage to climb up. Okay, then let's start with the simplest one. Lin Wanshu planned to teach her to read and identify medicinal herbs at the same time. In comparison, Feng Qiuyan naturally had no objection. "Wanshu, thank you," she said with red eyes. No one in this world has ever cared about her, and no one has ever told her how to fight against fate. Except for the person in front of me. At this moment, Lin Wanshu was no longer just a friend in her heart. She was also her benefactor and her idol. She must learn from her and live like a human being. Lin Wanshu had a 7-day spring festival holiday, which seemed very long, but in fact, she couldn't do anything. It is better to do it today than to wait for a day, so she might as well start teaching her to read now. With the simplest words like run, ko, and show. "Wanshu, I'll just use a branch to write on the ground first. Don't waste paper and pen." Seeing her take out a notebook and a pencil, Feng Qiuyan hurriedly said that someone was willing to teach her to read, so why would she ask him to spend money to give her paper and pen? You can only practice effectively with a pen. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. You can just erase it with an eraser. Lin Wanshu's persuasion, Feng Qiuyan finally agreed to use pen and paper to write. Knowing that she had no basic skills, Lin Wanshu prepared to teach her how to hold a pen. But unexpectedly, as soon as the pen was placed in Feng Qiuyan's hand, she was seen holding it very well. Lin Wanshu was a little surprised, but she didn't think much about it and just waited quietly for her to start writing. Feng Qiuyan was a little nervous, and her hands holding the notebook were shaking. After taking a deep breath, she slowly wrote the word run on the paper. Wanshu was even more surprised when she saw the first word she wrote. It stands to reason that people who have never written before generally won't be able to write so neatly the first time. Run, written by Feng Qiuyan, are not crooked like those of a beginner. However, Lin Wanshu still didn't think much about it. After all, one word couldn't reveal anything. Maybe she's just talented in writing? Feng Qiuyan looked at the words she had written and felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction in her heart. Without Lin Wanshu saying anything, she continued to carefully write down a few run characters. The more she wrote, the more comfortable she became. After she finished writing a few lines of run characters, you could actually see the strokes in her characters. Seeing those neatly written characters for run, Lin Wanshu fell silent. "Qiuyan, have you really never written before?" Unable to help herself, she asked suspiciously. Feng Qiuyan smiled shyly. "No, but I felt very familiar as soon as I picked up the pen." Lin Wanshu. Well, this is a very talented player. Unexpectedly, she not only had a keen sense of smell, but was also talented in writing. For a moment, Lin Wanshu felt as if she had found a treasure. In order to confirm her idea, Lin Wanshu asked her to write the word mountain. And this time, Feng Qiuyan's writing was still very steady, without any crooked or uneven strokes. Those few lines of writing looked at least at the level of a second-grade student. "Qiuyan, you learned to read very quickly, and your handwriting is beautiful, much better than when I first learned to write. Don't be afraid of you laughing. My handwriting was like a dog paddling at the beginning." Lin Wanshu sighed at the side. Feng Qiuyan felt that Lin Wanshu must have said this to encourage her. But even so, she was already very happy. Originally sallow face was faintly flushed. "How can I compare to you? But I will work hard and won't let you down," Feng Qiuyan assured seriously. "Okay, I believe you." Lin Wanshu was also very happy for her. I don't know if Feng Qiuyan was born to be a good student, but Lin Wanshu originally planned to teach her only 5 words. I didn't expect that she learned 10 words in just 1 hour. This is shocking enough for someone who is new to writing. When Feng Qiuyan said goodbye, Lin Wanshu gave her a notebook and a pen and told her, "Read it when you have nothing to do. If you can memorize it all by tomorrow, I will teach you other characters." Feng Qiuyan didn't expect that she could recognize so many words in just one afternoon. At this moment, Her eyes were shining, and she was full of fighting spirit. She is not stupid. She can also read. I'll save that. I'll definitely memorize all of this when I get back. To Lin Wanshu, Fang Qiuyan left happily. Dohua started playing with the kids and no longer followed her. When they went back, she was alone. It's already 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and it's time to go back and cook. Along the way, Fang Qiuyan walked while silently reading the words that Lin Wanshu had just taught her. When I got home, the yard was still quiet, and Lu Jingsong had not come back. Fang Qiuyan has gotten used to it and doesn't care. Putting the rice in the pot and making a fire, she looked at the sky and saw that there was still time, so she picked up a piece of charcoal and started writing on the ground. Although Lin Wanshu said that she could ask her for more notebooks when she had used them up, Fang Qiuyan was reluctant to do so. That book is so precious. How could she waste it? If you can use charcoal, practice with it first. Fang Qiuyan wrote while watching the fire, and before she knew it, the sky gradually darkened. Only when she couldn't see clearly anymore did she put down the charcoal and go wash the vegetables and cook. The dish was almost done. The tofu pudding came back. Mom, I'll give you something delicious. As soon as she entered the door, the little guy held up an orange ball and said to her. Fang Qiuyan knew that this was given to her by another military wife, and she felt grateful, but also a little guilty. Eat the tofu pudding yourself. Mom doesn't like sweet food. She would have to make something to send back tomorrow. Fortunately, although Lu Jingsong treated her as heir, he never asked about her spending money on things. But on weekdays, she didn't buy anything else except some fish, tofu, and eggs. Hearing this, Dohua blinked in confusion. Then she insisted on handing the fried dough to Fang Qiuyan. Mom, try it. It's delicious. Looking at her expectant expression, Fang Qiuyan finally couldn't refuse her.
Just took a light bite.
The sweet and soft taste immediately touched her heart. Fang Qiuyan even felt that the air was sweet. I am so happy today. It's delicious.
Thank you, Dohua.
Touching her head, Fang Qiuyan smiled with a relaxed look. Just at this time, Lu Jingsong also came back. When their eyes met, Fang Qiuyan's smile froze on her face. Her habitual nervousness made her want to reach out and wipe her apron. But soon, she remembered what Lin Wanshu had said to her in the afternoon. No one is born lowly. She has a keen sense of smell and can accurately identify the medicinal ingredients in a pill. This is a talent that others cannot obtain. She is no worse than anyone else. Thinking of this, she forced herself to calm down and greeted him with a smile. You're back? The food is ready. We can eat right away. Lu Jingsong felt that there seemed to be something different about her. But looking at her sallow and thin face, he felt that he was overthinking. After nodding, he went to fetch some water to wash his hands and face, as if looking at her any longer would be a waste of time. But after taking the first step, Fang Qiuyan discovered that Lu Jingsong was not that scary. After all, they were just strangers living under the same roof, and it was enough for her to take care of his 3 meals a day. Thinking of this, she felt relieved, and her face was less embarrassed than before. Because Lu Jingsong didn't allow her to wash his clothes after dinner, Fang Qiuyan took herself and Dohua a bath and washed their clothes, and then took her daughter back to her room. Although they are husband and wife, they are no different from strangers. They usually live in their own rooms. Fang Qiuyan knew that he didn't like her getting close to him, and she had never been into his room. Returning to the room, she was reluctant to turn on the light. After Dohua fell asleep, she sat by the window and whispered the characters and phrases that Lin Wanshu had taught her. Lu Jingsong had just come back from taking a shower. When he passed by her room, he vaguely heard Fang Qiuyan's voice coming from inside. But her voice was so soft that he couldn't hear what she was saying. Glancing at the window, he frowned unconsciously. After a pause, he walked back to his room. Lying in bed, the sounds from the next room could still be heard faintly. Lu Jingsong felt a little irritated and couldn't sleep at all. Staring at the dark roof, Fang Dongshua's tearful eyes suddenly flashed through his mind. I don't blame you, it was all an accident. It's pitiful that my sister has lost her innocence. You have to treat her well in the future. When he thought of Fang Dongshua's painful appearance, Lu Jingsong's hands unconsciously clenched into fists, and his heart felt more and more stuffy and uncomfortable. Why did such an accident happen when he just wanted to go back and marry his sweetheart? Lu Jingsong went to the Fong family to propose marriage that day. He accidentally drank too much, and it was getting late, so the Fong family let him stay overnight. I never thought that when I woke up the next day, there was one more person in the room. The Fong family said that he got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and went into the wrong room, ruining Fong Qiuyan's innocence. But he clearly remembered that he slept in this room. But such an excuse is meaningless. After all, Fong Qiuyan's innocence has been ruined by him. In the end, the original fiancé was hastily replaced by my sister. Until now, Lu Jingsong still cannot accept the fact that he married his sweetheart's sister. Because he couldn't face it, he didn't go home for several years. Until his father sent a telegram saying that Fong Qiuyan was seriously ill and asked him to go back quickly. After returning home, Lu Jingsong suddenly realized that the woman he married had become extremely thin. Even the child whom he had never met was like a refugee. Lu Jingsong knew that his mother didn't like her, but he didn't expect her to be so cruel and to torment Fong Qiuyan and her daughter like this. There was no choice but to bring the person to the army. But facing this awkward relationship with his wife, Lu Jingsong never knew how to get along with her. In the end, he could only treat her as a neighbor living in the same yard. I don't know how long it took, but the sound from the next room finally stopped and the whole yard fell into silence. Lu Jingsong let out a long sigh. Even though the room was very quiet, he still couldn't fall asleep. The next day, Qin Yan got up before dawn. The army was slaughtering pigs for the new year, and he had to go and get some pork. Lin Wanshu heard Qin Yan got up. She also stood up, yawning. Qin Yan saw it, and hurriedly reached out to support her back, carefully helping her sit up. The woman was obviously not fully awake yet, so she followed his support and leaned softly into his arms. Qin Yan felt a little amused and a little distressed. He lowered his eyes and looked at his wife with her eyes closed in his arms. He said softly, "Why don't you sleep a little longer? I have written down everything you want, and we'll bring it back to you later." The man's magnetic voice rang in her ears, and Lin Wanshu felt as if an electric current had passed through her ears, making her feel numb and tingling, and her mind became a little clearer. She opened her sore eyes, shook her head, and said vaguely, "I made an appointment with Fong Fong. She wants to watch the slaughter of the New Year pig." Qin Yan. After a while, Lin Wanshu finally woke up. She looked at the time, and it was just past 4 o'clock. No wonder she was so sleepy. Qin Yan had no choice but to find her a thick coat to wear. Couple brushed their teeth. Yu Fong Fong's voice was heard at the door. "Wan Wan, are you okay?" Lin Wanshu. To see Fong Fong, who always loved to sleep in, getting up so early just to watch the pig being slaughtered. "How beautiful is this? Here I am." Lin Wanshu responded and walked out with Qin Yan. Outside the door, besides Yu Fong Fong, Feng Yandong was also there. I saw that he pursed his lips, and his face did not look very good. Lin Wanshu greeted him. Feng Yandong nodded as a response. When they set off, Yu Fong Fong held Lin Wanshu's hand, and the 2 grown men walked behind. I had not walked far when I heard Tang Qian's voice behind me. "Hey, you went to watch the pig being slaughtered and didn't wait for us." Lin Wanshu looked back and saw, "Okay, they're all here."
Why do you all want to go?
She asked in surprise. "Is it so interesting to kill a pig? If I don't go, my husband will definitely take all the skinny ones home. She looks forward to this pork all year round, so how could she not choose the fattest one?" The other 3 nodded in unison. "We have to choose by ourselves because we don't trust men to do the work." Several men following behind. A moment. Lin Wanshu turned to look at Yu Fong Fong again. "Fong Fong, you don't want to pick the fat meat too, do you? Obviously, she is just like her and doesn't eat fatty meat." Yu Fong Fong curled her lips. "I'm afraid to watch it alone, so I asked you to accompany me. My husband, Mr. Feng, won't let me go. She used to be a loner, and no one wanted to play with her. Feng Yandong treated her like a child and refused to let her go no matter how much he tried to persuade her. Today, She mentioned Lin Wanshu's name, and he reluctantly agreed to let her go. After hearing this, Lin Wanshu finally understood why Feng Yandong's expression looked a little strange. Killing a pig is a big event, and everyone looks forward to this day all year round. When they set out, many military wives joined the team. When passing by Ji Hualan's house, the Shen Xiai brothers happened to get up. Shen Yu was fully armed and dressed tightly, and it was obvious at first glance that he was going to watch a pig being slaughtered. Shen Xiai wore much lighter clothes, and when he saw that Lin Wanshu and his wife were going to the army, he volunteered to help them look after Xiao Miao Miao. After hearing this, Shen Yu no longer cared about watching the pig being slaughtered. Squeezed to Shen Xi's side and raised his hand eagerly. And me, I can see my sister too. Can't let his brother be alone with his sister. Shen Yu is now guarding against Shen Xiai like he is guarding against a wolf. Qin Yan didn't want these two brats to go into his room to accompany his daughter at all. But Lin Wanshu nodded and agreed. Then I'll leave my sister to you. I'll make you some glutinous rice blood sausage when I get back. Hearing that there was something delicious to eat, Shen Yu became even more determined to take good care of his sister. Don't worry, Auntie. I'll take care of my sister. Shen Xiai pursed his lips, feeling that this guy was really an eyesore. Shen Shuwen patted his youngest son on the shoulder and said with a look of satisfaction, "Come on, son." Shen Xiai and Qin Yan's faces immediately turned black. What kind of oil is this? Soon, the group arrived at the logistics department. As soon as I got closer, I heard a sharp howl from a pig. Originally very excited to watch the pig being slaughtered, was suddenly frightened and stood still. Holding Lin Wanshu's arms with both hands, she subconsciously dodged backwards. Lin Wanshu couldn't help but laugh when she saw this. If you're afraid, let's not watch it and just wait outside. Lin Wanshu was originally from the countryside. When she was a child, everyone in the village would go to watch when the New Year pig was slaughtered, and she was no exception. She was used to this kind of scene and didn't think anything of it. But for those who have not seen it, the impact is indeed quite big, especially timid girls. But when Yu Fongfong heard this, she subconsciously straightened her chest. I'm not afraid. It's just killing a pig. What's there to be afraid of? Let's go. As she spoke, she took another step forward and walked side by side with Lin Wanshu. Tang Qian teased, "Fongfong, do and try to be brave. I'm afraid you won't be able to sleep at night after watching this." Yu Fongfong snorted. "Don't look down on others." Having said that, he raised his head and walked towards the open space of the logistics department with a heroic and confident look. Feng Yandong's brows were almost twisted into a knot. Finally, he followed Qin Yan's example and walked directly in front of Yu Fongfong. In case the scene becomes too bloody, he can help block it. Yu Fongfong had no idea of her man's good intentions. Seeing that he was blocking her, she felt a little dissatisfied. "Old Feng, please move aside. I can't see anything." In front of us was the open space for slaughtering pigs, and there were 2 wooden boards placed on the space. Several soldiers were carrying a pig onto a wooden board to drain its blood. The pig probably sensed the danger and struggled even harder. Seeing this, Feng Yandong turned around and said to Yu Fongfong, "You'd better stop looking. Go to the side and wait. I'll call you later." When Yu Fongfong heard this, she immediately became unhappy. She came here just to see the pig being slaughtered. If he didn't let her watch, wouldn't her trip be in vain? No way. Rolling her eyes, she squeezed past. Just as Feng Yandong was about to stop him, the soldier's sharp knife stabbed into the pig's throat. Stabbed pig howled even louder. It took several soldiers holding it down to prevent it from breaking free. How could Yu Fongfong have thought that she would just see blood gushing out as soon as she squeezed in? Instantly, she froze in place, her face turning pale. So scary. So much blood. Feng Yandong grabbed her arm, angry and furious. "I told you not to go, and you didn't listen. Are you scared now?" With her tiny courage, how dare she come to watch a pig being slaughtered? Yu Fongfong was so frightened that she couldn't speak clearly. Seeing her pitiful appearance, Feng Yandong swallowed the scolding in his mouth. "I'll take you outside to sit for a while." Yu Fangfang knew she was in the wrong and did not dare to refute, so she let him help her retreat. Qin Yan was standing in front of her just now, so Lin Wanshu didn't see that Yu Fangfang was scared. Seeing that she looked pale, he hurried over to support her other arm. "How is it, Fangfang?" As soon as she saw Lin Wanshu, Yu Fangfang leaned directly on her shoulder and sought comfort. "Feng Yandong. He is her man, right? Why is it that every time he faces Lin Wanshu, he always feels like he is redundant?" Qin Yan, who was standing by, was helpless when he saw that his wife was taken away again. Lin Wanshu didn't care what the two men thought. After she walked outside, she took out an oil paper bag from her pocket. Paper bag was opened, revealing a handful of melon strips. "Come, eat some melon strips to calm your nerves." Lin Wanshu gave her one. Yu Fangfang didn't expect that she would bring melon strips with her when she came out to watch the pig being slaughtered. She was so moved that she almost cried. "Wan, did you know that I would be scared and prepare melon strips for me? Wow, I am so touched." Ever since she ate the melon noodles made by Lin Wanshu, Yu Fangfang's favorite snack besides milk candy is the sweet and delicious melon noodles. She grabbed a piece of melon and put it in her mouth. The sweet taste with a hint of mint and the cool feeling made her feel better instantly. Qin Yan was afraid that Lin Wanshu would get tired after standing for too long, so he found 2 stools and asked them to sit down and wait. After a while, a few more military wives came. They all heard that Yu Fangfang was frightened and came to comfort her. Even Tang Qian, who had just made fun of her, was very concerned about her. "Fangfang, is that okay? If you still feel uncomfortable, I'll take you back home." No matter how much she jokes, she will not hesitate when something really happens. "It's okay. I'll just wait here." Yu Fangfang no longer dared to be stubborn. Killing pigs was indeed not suitable for her to watch. No wonder her husband, Mr. Feng, has never allowed her to come over. Seeing that she was really fine, they felt relieved. After a while, Feng Qiuyan also came over. But unlike others, she came by herself and did not see Lu Jingsong. "Qiuyan here." Seeing her, Lin Wanshu waved at her. Feng Qiuyan saw so many military wives present. She subconsciously pinched the hem of her clothes and became visibly nervous. Even his steps seemed a little hesitant. But this slight hesitation quickly disappeared after meeting Lin Wanshu's encouraging gaze. Wanshu said that she was no worse than anyone else, so she had no need to feel inferior. Silently completing the construction for herself in her heart, Feng Qiuyan slowly relaxed. "Good morning, Wanshu. Good morning, sisters-in-law." Feng Qiuyan imitated Lin Wanshu's usual manner and greeted everyone. The military wives were all a little surprised to see that she was no longer stuttering or nervous. When they came to their senses, everyone responded with a smile. "Qiuyan, come quickly." Wanshu brought some melon strips. "They are delicious." Yu Fangfang picked up a piece of melon strips and shook it at her. "Qiuyan, you should come out and chat with us more often. You've been in the family compound for a while, and I haven't seen you many times." Yangzhen walked up to her and took her hand. Perhaps feeling the enthusiasm of the military wives, Feng Qiuyan felt a burning sensation in her heart, and her eyes were a little sore. She smiled at them gratefully and said, "I used to be busy with work in the fields, but I won't do that anymore. I'll come play with you guys when I'm free. I hope you don't find me annoying." It was the first time that Feng Qiuyan spoke such a long speech in public. She stuttered a little at the beginning, but later on, she became fluent unconsciously. "Hey, what are you talking about? We are looking forward to your coming. It is more fun for us to work and chat together." Yangzhen took her arm and walked towards the crowd. Yu Fangfang stuffed the melon strips into her hands. "Try it now, it's delicious." This time, Feng Qiuyan couldn't control her tears anymore. She now felt the care that even her own family had never given her from a group of unfamiliar military wives.
How could she not be moved by this?
If this was a dream, she hoped she would never wake up. Although there were lights on in the place where the pigs were slaughtered, it was still a little dark outside the crowd. No one noticed anything unusual about Feng Qiuyan. After greeting everyone, he pulled her aside to chat lively. Mainly talked about building a factory. Wanshu, the application has been approved. Where should the pharmaceutical factory be built? Yang Zheng also got a piece of melon stick. While eating, she asked curiously. I have already mentioned this to the team leader. We should build the factory on the vacant land next to Dongtu Mountain. The transportation there is convenient, and it is close to several nearby brigades, so it is also convenient to purchase raw materials. Qiu Yong also took people to conduct an on-site investigation, and he agreed to her proposal. When they heard that it was near Dongtu Mountain, the military wives' eyes lit up. Dongtushan is close to the staff quarters, so if they have the opportunity to work in the factory, it will be convenient for them to go home. Wanshu, do you know when the factory will start construction? Tang Qian couldn't wait any longer, and she wished she could create a factory tomorrow. We'll start construction after the Spring Festival. The team leader said it will be completed in 4 months. The factory was built directly by soldiers from the army. Even though they spend most of their time in the army doing military training, they actually have maxed out all kinds of life skills. Just look at the houses in the military family compounds, and you will know that they were all built by soldiers. Hearing that the factory building could be built so soon, the military wives became even more excited. Fang Qiuyan, who was also surrounded by the crowd, suddenly widened her eyes when she learned that Lin Wanshu was actually running a pharmaceutical factory. She knew she was good, but she didn't expect she was this good. It's fine that he can treat illnesses, but now he can even talk about running a factory? No wonder these military wives adore her so much. At this moment, Fang Qiuyan became more determined to study hard. She didn't ask herself to be as capable as Lin Wanshu, as long as she could improve the situation of herself and Do Hua. A few people gathered together and chatted in whispers. They didn't know how much time had passed before they heard the men say that the pig had been slaughtered and they could go and get the meat. While they were talking just now, the men had already lined up. Now they just have to find their own men, and when it's their turn, they can choose the meat. Fang Qiuyan knew that Lu Jingsong was not coming, so she lined up at the end of the line. After the pork was divided, almost all the men carried the pork, while the women came empty-handed and left empty-handed. There was only Fang Qiuyan, carrying a piece of fat, a piece of pork belly, a large bone, some rice intestines and some pig offal. Suggested that she choose the big bone, saying that it would be nutritious if cooked into soup. Although Fang Qiuyan didn't know what nutritional value a piece of bone could contain, she believed everything Lin Wanshu said. The troops were obviously much more generous in distributing meat than the brigade. When she was in the brigade, each family could only get a little more than 1 kilogram of meat. She had in her hands now weighed several kilograms. She wasn't tired carrying the things, but standing among the group of military wives with empty hands, she looked a little different. However, Fang Qiuyan no longer felt as uncomfortable as before. As for Lu Jingsong, she never thought of counting on him. After all, their relationship is so awkward. After returning to the family compound, Lin Wanshu called out to Fang Qiuyan. I have some dendrobium here. You can take it home and make soup with it. After saying this, seeing that she seemed to want to refuse again, Lin Wanshu continued. This pork bone soup has a nourishing effect. Don't refuse it. The body is the capital of the revolution, and keeping a good body is more important than anything else. Although it was not the first time that she felt her concern, Fang Qiuyan was still deeply moved at this moment.
Good.
Fang Qiuyan's voice was a little hoarse, as if her throat was blocked by something. Lin Wanshu's dendrobium were collected from the military wives, and the rest were taken out from the space. She took out a small handful, put it in a bag, and took it back to Fang Qiuyan. Remember to come and study after breakfast. Before leaving, she gave one more reminder.
Yes.
I'll be there soon. Fang Qiuyan nodded heavily. After seeing Fang Qiuyan off, the sky was already beginning to brighten. Lin Wanshu just asked for some pig offal and simply cooked some pork offal porridge for breakfast. While the food was cooking, Xiao Miao Miao came to the kitchen rubbing her eyes. She was wearing pajamas inside and a green Miao military uniform outside, and her hair was a little messy. It was obvious that he had just woken up and ran to the kitchen to find me. Morning, Mom. Seeing Lin Wanshu cooking, Xiao Miao Miao hugged her thighs out of habit. Mother, she whispered to her belly. Good morning, baby. Lin Wanshu was so adorable that she rubbed her little head and asked, "Why did you get up so early?" Hearing this, Xiao Miao Miao blinked first, then pointed at Xinyu with her little hand and said, "Brother Noisy." Seeing that Xiao Miao Miao actually went to Lin Wanshu to complain, Xinyu suddenly felt like the sky was falling.
Aunt.
"Aunt, I didn't mean it." He just wanted to give Xiao Miao Miao the mantis he had just obtained. Unexpectedly, he was jealous by his brother. Seeing that he didn't allow him to give his beloved mantis to Miao Miao, Xinyu argued with him. "Who would have thought that I would wake Miao Miao up? It's okay. Go to bed early and get up early to keep healthy. Annie wants to thank you." Lin Wanshu comforted him with a smile. Seeing that she was really not angry and even thanked him, Xinyu finally breathed a sigh of relief. He cast a smug look at Shen Ci beside him.
Shenqi. Virtue.
Lin Wanshu agreed to make glutinous rice blood sausage for the children. Putting the porridge in the pot, she went to the cupboard to take out a small bag of glutinous rice and then soaked the glutinous rice in water. Knowing that Lin Wanshu was going to make delicious food, Xinyu was even more reluctant to leave. He squatted on the ground with Xiao Miao Miao, watching Lin Wanshu wash and stuff the pig intestines with curiosity. Qin Yan went out to collect firewood. The Chinese New Year is just 2 days away, and he is worried that there won't be enough firewood at home, so he plans to pick up some more. Lin Wanshu had breakfast with her 3 children, and after she had refined the lard, Fang Qiuyan came. When Xiao Dohua saw Miao Miao, a smile appeared on his face. "Sister, this is for you." As she spoke, she raised the bamboo dragonfly in her hand. Xiao Miao Miao had a lot of toys. Children all like new and interesting things. She happily took the bamboo dragonfly given by Dohua and grinned.
Tranquilla.
"You're welcome. I made this myself." Seeing that she liked it, Dohua taught her how to play. The small bamboo dragonfly gently in your hand, and it will fly up directly. Xiao Miao Miao exclaimed, "Wow," and was even more surprised. Xinyu felt very disappointed when he saw that Xiao Miao Miao actually liked the 2 pieces of bamboo, but not his mantis. His steel fun? When will my sister accept the gift from him? The children were playing with bamboo dragonflies in the yard, so Lin Wanshu took Fang Qiuyan into the pharmacy. "Wanshu, this is what I just wrote." As soon as she entered the door, Fang Qiuyan handed over her notebook with both hands. Lin Wanshu took the notebook. She stood up straight like a primary school student, waiting for the teacher to check her homework. Lin Wanshu opened the notebook, which was filled with neatly written lines, without any of the unfamiliarity of a beginner. Looking at the neat and beautiful handwriting on it, Lin Wanshu was amazed. "Wanshu, how is it? Is there anything wrong?" It was the first time for Fang Qiuyan to hand in her homework, so she couldn't help feeling a little nervous. Seeing that Lin Wanshu didn't say anything, she asked, "You write very well. Can you read and form words with these characters?" Lin Wanshu pulled her to sit on a stool nearby. Fang Qiuyan became even more nervous when she saw that she was finally going to take the test. Read out to Lin Wanshu the words and phrases she had memorized last night one by one. After reciting it, her cheeks flushed, and she looked at Lin Wanshu with shining eyes, like a child waiting for praise. Lin Wanshu was very happy for her. "Qiuyan, I was right. You are really talented in reading. You have mastered so many words in just one day." When she was praised, "I really know how to read. I'm not stupid. I can read." At the end of her SP Pesh, her voice was choked with sobs. After being suppressed for more than 20 years, she had already accepted her fate and felt that this was how her life would be. But now someone told her that she was very talented in studying. Fang Qiuyan could no longer suppress the grievance in her heart. They are all their parents' children, so why is she the only one who can't go to school and can only work day after day? "Yes, you are not stupid, you are smart. I just started learning to read, and I can't master so many words in one day." Lin Wanshu patted her shoulder and comforted her. Born in the same era, she knows better than anyone how difficult the situation is for women in rural areas. No matter how talented a boy is, he will generally be sent to school as long as his family can afford it. It's different for girls. Most people think that girls will move into other people's homes when they grow up. It's useless to study more. It's better to do more work. The most important thing for a girl is to be diligent. Only by being diligent can she be well accepted by her husband's family. She understood her grievances and felt sorry for what she had gone through. After all, not everyone is as lucky as her to meet a teacher like Meng Huaying. Her value was recognized. Fang Qiuyan was filled with unprecedented confidence. Wan Shu, let's get started. I want to learn a few more words today. Try to be able to understand articles and newspapers as soon as possible, and don't be a blind person.
Good.
Seeing her high morale, Lin Wanshu was very pleased and started today's class. In addition to teaching new words, Lin Wanshu also taught her to identify 2 herbs. The extra new words were the names of the herbs. I don't know if it's because the words correspond to specific objects, but Fang Qiuyan remembered them immediately. An hour, she had memorized more than a dozen words. After learning a dozen new words, Fang Qiuyan didn't plan to stay any longer and prepared to go back. But before he could leave, Lin Wanshu called him back. Qiuyan, wait a moment. Fang Qiuyan kept repeating the words and phrases she had just learned. Upon hearing this, she subconsciously stopped. When I turned around, I saw Lin Wanshu taking out a small box and a bottle from the drawer. Fang Qiuyan was a little confused, not knowing what she was going to do, so she asked, "What's wrong? Wanshu, is there anything else?" Lin Wanshu picked up the small box and walked towards Fang Qiuyan. "It's true. I need your help." Hearing that she needed her help, Fang Qiuyan subconsciously straightened her chest. "Wanshu, if you need my help, just tell me. I'm willing to do anything for you." Not to mention that she had given her so much help. Just thinking about her concern for her, Fang Qiuyan felt that she would go through fire and water without a second thought. Hearing this, Lin Wanshu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I don't need you to work like a servant, but this is a little risky." When she heard that there were risks, Fang Qiuyan not only did not flinch, but instead said with a firm look, "No matter what the risks are, I'm not afraid."
She has a miserable life.
She is despised in her own family and has an equally miserable life in her husband's family. Even though she had just arrived at the family compound, she was still ignored by everyone. Only Lin Wanshu saw her in the dust, encouraged her to study, and told her that she was no worse than anyone else. Fang Qiuyan is uneducated and doesn't understand what it means to die for one's friend. She just had the purest idea of wanting to repay the person who gave her warmth. Lin Wanshu opened the box in her hand, revealing the snow-white skin cream inside. "This is a skincare product I made. It has whitening, moisturizing, and spotlightening effects. I want to find someone to try it out. If the effect is good, the pharmaceutical factory may mass-produce it. Are you willing to help me do this experiment?" As she spoke, she told her about some possible risks. If Lin Wanshu wanted to give her skincare products, Fang Qiuyan would definitely not accept them. After all, a bottle of vanishing cream costs more than 1 yuan. If anyone in the village can use vanishing cream, it will be a matter of face when going out. And its price will definitely be more expensive than vanishing cream. How could she possibly take advantage of her? Now hearing that Lin Wanshu wanted her to do an experiment, Fang Qiuyan nodded without hesitation. "Wanshu, don't worry, just tell me how to use it, and I will definitely use it properly when I go back." Her face was already like this, waxy and yellow, with sunspots, but Fang Qiuyan didn't even consider whether she might be allergic to it. "Anyway, as long as I can help her, that's enough." This skincare product is the one that Lin Wanshu uses herself. In fact, the ingredients are very safe and the chance of allergies is not high, but she still needs to explain the situation to her in advance. Lin Wanshu didn't feel any effect when she used it herself. Just now when she was teaching Fang Qiuyan, she saw that her skin was a little dry and cracked, so Lin Wanshu came up with the idea of asking her to help try some skincare products. Seeing that she agreed, she picked up the bottle of about 200 milliliters of lotion on the table and handed it to her. "This is body lotion. After taking a shower, apply it all over your body. Don't be reluctant to use it. Make sure to spread it evenly so that you can see the effect. I'll give it to you after you've used it up." Seeing her so cautious, Fang Qiuyan nodded seriously. "I understand, Wanshu. I will definitely complete what you ask me to do." If it was something purchased, Fang Qiuyan would definitely not be willing to use it. But when it comes to the experimental results, she dare not save money. I was afraid that the effect would be off and would disappoint Lin Wanshu's expectations. She went back. Fang Qiuyan held a notebook in one hand and a bag in the other. The bag contained the skincare products that Lin Wanshu gave her. After returning home, Fang Qiuyan hid the skincare products in the cupboard and then sat at the desk in the room to practice the characters that Lin Wanshu had just taught her. Dohua played with other children, so she had nothing to worry about. As for Lu Jingsong, she never asked him where he was going. Fang Qiuyan knew that he was resentful, so she could only try her best not to appear in front of him to avoid making him feel bad. She wrote each word Lin Wanshu taught her stroke by stroke, reading each one after she wrote it. Every time she memorized a word, Fang Qiuyan felt that she had gained a bit of strength. I don't know how long it took, but Fang Qiuyan put down her pen only after the last word was memorized in her mind. Looking up at the sunlight coming in through the window, Fang Qiuyan felt that everything was so beautiful. In the morning, and even boiled the large bones in the pot according to the method Lin Wanshu had told her. She came back. She added 2 more pieces of wood to the pot. Calculating the time, it should be cooked by now. Just stir-fry 2 more vegetables, and you can have lunch. Before I even walked into the kitchen, I could smell a strange fragrance from afar. It turned out that in addition to dendrobium, Lin Wanshu also gave her a few other ingredients in the morning. Fang Qiuyan didn't know what it was, but she just did what she said. At this moment, when she smelled the delicious aroma, her stomach couldn't help but growl. The hungry and greedy cries were so loud that she couldn't help feeling ashamed. Fortunately, no one was here, otherwise she would have crawled into the ground. Just as I was thinking this, I ran into Lu Jingsong coming out of the kitchen. When their eyes met, the air seemed to be stuck. But I don't know if it's because she found confidence from Lin Wanshu. Although Fang Qiuyan was embarrassed, she was no longer panicked. Instead, he greeted him calmly. "You're back? Are you hungry? If you are, make some soup first." No matter what he thought of her, she just had to fulfill her duties as a wife. Seeing Fang Qiuyan, who was always nervous and timid, become a different person, Lu Jingsong was a little surprised. But he didn't take it to heart and just said lightly, "You're not hungry yet. If you're hungry, just get some for yourself."
Oh.
Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan didn't say anything else. A strange and awkward couple just passed each other like this. Lu Jingsong went to the yard to repair the fence, and Fang Qiuyan went back to the kitchen to cook. The dish was just ready and the tofu pudding came back. She was holding a windmill in her hand, running, jumping, and shouting, "Mom, Mom, look, my windmill is turning." The child's clear and cheerful voice spread throughout the yard, and people who listened to it couldn't help but be infected by her mood. Even Lu Jingsong's gaze fell on the thin child without him noticing. Was seen running towards Fang Qiuyan happily. Fang Qiuyan had already opened her arms, waiting for the little guy to pounce on her. The mother and daughter hugged each other, with the brightest smiles on their faces that he had never seen before. "Mom, look, it's a windmill." Dohua didn't notice his father repairing the fence in the corner, and said to his mother while holding the windmill. Fang Qiuyan has become accustomed to ignoring Lu Jingsong's existence, and her heart and eyes are filled with her daughter's happy smile. "Who gave you the windmill?" "It's so beautifully made. It was given to me by Sister Tingting. She can make many, many things. She is amazing." Dohua was like seeing some idol, and all he could hear was Tingting's long and Tingting's short words. But Fang Qiuyan was not impatient at all and listened carefully to her sharing her joy of today with her. After her daughter finished speaking, Fang Qiuyan tapped her nose and said, "Sister Tingting gave us a windmill. Next time, we should also give her a small toy, okay?" As soon as she finished speaking, Fang Qiuyan was stunned, as if someone had once said something like this to her in her memory. But if you think about it carefully, it is unlikely that her parents said this. After all, both of them are the type that if they don't take advantage, they will suffer losses. How could she possibly take the initiative to send something to someone? What's more, she has never collected a toy since she was a child, and even the clothes she wears are made smaller by her mother when she no longer wears them. Later, when her younger sister grew up, She started picking up her younger sister's things. Dohwa didn't know what her mother was thinking, but when she heard this, she nodded seriously. Well, Huahua can make bamboo grasshoppers. I will give this to Sister Tingting next time. To see her daughter being sensible and well-behaved. Tofu pudding is awesome. I can even make my own grasshoppers. She imitated Lin Wanshu's way of praising Xiao Miao Miao and also praised Dohua. Dohua was so happy after hearing this that her little face turned red with excitement. But at this moment, Lu Jingsong also repaired the fence and walked over here. When she saw him, the bright smile on Dohua's face suddenly froze and then disappeared without a trace. Two thin little hands tightly hugged Fang Qiuyan's neck, as if he was some kind of monster. Lu Jingsong has complicated feelings about this child. Her presence constantly reminded him of the mistakes he had made. Lu Jingsong couldn't forgive himself, nor could he face Dohua. Just ignore her existence. But at this moment, looking at her eyes and eyebrows that were similar to his but too thin, Lu Jingsong's heart seemed to be pierced by a needle. Fang Qiuyan knew that her daughter was afraid of Lu Jingsong, so how could she dare to stay here any longer? After gently patting Dohua's back, she said to Lu Jingsong, "The food is ready, let's eat." Having said that, she went back to the kitchen with the tofu pudding in her arms. Lu Jingsong looked at her cold back and couldn't help but frown. How come she changed so much all of a sudden? Fang Qiuyan didn't care what he thought. After having lunch and drinking the bone soup, she felt warm all over and very comfortable. When she went to the fields in the afternoon, she weeded the entire field in one breath and didn't feel tired at all. This thing is really nutritious. I don't know if there are still any on the mountain. Next time I see them, I will pick some and bring them back. I cooked too much soup, so I ate it once at noon and once at night before I finally finished it. After dinner, Fang Qiuyan gave herself and Dohua a bath as usual. After taking a shower and returning to the room, she coaxed Dohua to sleep before taking out the cream and lotion that Lin Wanshu had given her and applying them evenly on her face and body. This is the first time Fang Qiuyan has used skincare products in her life. After applying the cream and lotion, the originally tight skin immediately feels moisturized. After applying the lotion, my whole body has an indescribable fragrance. Although it was different from the scent on Lin Wanshu, it also smelled very good. No one doesn't love beauty. The same goes for Fang Qiuyan. Smelling the faint fragrance, she seemed to be intoxicated by it. Such a good thing, she said she would give it to herself. Fang Qiuyan couldn't help but mutter to herself. How can this be called an experiment? It's clearly a bargain. Applying the skincare products, Fang Qiuyan lay on the bed again, silently reviewing the new words she learned yesterday and today. Lin Wanshu even turned all the new words into limericks. It was also much easier for Fang Qiuyan to carry it on her back. The house and the yard were quiet, and Fang Qiuyan spoke in a low voice for fear of disturbing anyone. But even so, Lu Jingsong in the next room still vaguely heard her movements. The gentle voice seemed to have some strange magic, which made Lu Jingsong unable to sleep at all. What on earth is she doing? Why is she still awake so late? Lu Jingsong was extremely upset, but he couldn't run over and tell her to be quiet. In the end, he could only endure it silently and wait for her to stop, so that he could go to sleep. However, he was still too naive. Fang Qiuyan finally made a noise. Lu Jingsong suffered from insomnia again. When I closed my eyes, the image in my mind flashed by Fang Dongshue's tearful eyes, and then by the bright smiles of Fang Qiuyan and her daughter. Finally, the scene freezes on Dohua hugging Fang Qiuyan's neck tightly, trembling. Lu Jingsong suddenly felt uncomfortable in his heart. The next day before dawn, Fang Qiuyan got up and washed. But when she was about to wash her face with a towel, she suddenly felt that her face seemed to become more hydrated and smoother. It feels obviously much better to the touch than before. This effect shocked Fang Qiuyan so much that her jaw almost dropped. She never thought that her skin would improve one day. It was amazing. Knowing that this thing can improve the skin, after washing her face, Fang Qiuyan applied a layer of cream on her face, as Lin Wanshu said. The faint fragrance makes people feel happy when they smell it. After applying the face cream, she applied some body lotion on her hands and then on her feet. Then I went to the kitchen humming a song to make breakfast. As soon as Lu Jingsong got up and walked into the yard, he heard a soft and cheerful hum coming from the kitchen. Hearing her singing, he was stunned. She was actually singing? I have to say that Fang Qiuyan's behavior was truly shocking. After all, she was still timid and cowardly a few days ago. If just a look from him could make her cry on the spot. But not only was she no longer afraid of him last night, she was even singing now. Fang Qiuyan didn't know that Lu Jingsong had already gotten up. She quickly made breakfast and was about to call Dohua to get up and eat. I saw Lu Jingsong standing in the yard, not knowing what he was doing. But she didn't dare to ask about his affairs. Breakfast is ready. Eat first. I'll go check on the tofu pudding. After nodding at him, Fang Qiuyan went back to her room. It was already daybreak, and light shone into the house through the window, making the originally dark room a little brighter. Fang Qiuyan took out a pen and a notebook, sat down by the window, and continued practicing writing. Although Lin Wanshu praised her for being very talented. However, Fang Qiuyan dared not to be proud or slack off. She knew this was her only chance to change her fate. Only if she holds on tightly will she have a chance to turn things around. In order to live with dignity, she will do her best no matter what. Fortunately, she has already mastered the new words taught in the past 2 days. She even knew the limericks by heart. After she had written 2 lines of all the new words, Dohua finally woke up. As soon as she got up, before she even opened her eyes, she couldn't wait to say, "Mom, please cut some bamboo for me. I want to weave a grasshopper for Sister Tingting." Fang Qiuyan was very pleased to hear this. "Okay, Dohua, get up first. After you wash up and have breakfast, Mom will go and cut bamboo for you." Hearing this, Dohua immediately jumped up from the bed and came to Fang Qiuyan with his messy hair. Fang Qiuyan combed her hair neatly and then took her to wash. When they lived in the Lu family, they didn't have any toothbrushes. Even when brushing their teeth, they had to pick willow branches from outside. After they came to the family compound, these were all prepared for them by Lu Jingsong. Fang Qiuyan was very grateful for this. Although their relationship is awkward, to be honest, he is a nice guy. If it weren't for his tough attitude this time, her mother-in-law would definitely not let her join the army. Thinking of the ill-fated relationship between them, Fang Qiuyan felt a surge of guilt. In fact, the person who walked into the wrong room that night was not Lu Jingsong, but her. She was with Fang Dongxue before going to bed, but when she woke up again, she was in the room where Lu Jingsong slept. The 2 men were disheveled, and there was blood on the bed. Fang Qiuyan could react to what was happening. Fang Dongxue rushed in. Afterwards was beyond Fang Qiuyan's expectations. Fang Dongxue didn't cry or make a fuss. She just kept shedding tears. Her parents didn't beat or scold her. Instead, they scolded Lu Jingsong, saying that he slept with their innocent daughter and he had to take responsibility and marry her. Fang Qiuyan will never forget the look Lu Jingsong gave her at that time. Disgust and hatred, as if he couldn't bear to chew her alive. Final result was that the 4 major items purchased by Lu Jingsong were all left to Fang Dongxue as compensation. As she stole her brother-in-law, she had nothing. Even her wedding clothes were made from Fang Dongxue's old clothes. On the wedding night, Lu Jingsong didn't even return to the bridal chamber. The next morning, he went straight to the army and didn't come back for several years. Fang Qiuyan naturally wouldn't blame him, because when she thought about it later, she realized that she had really walked into the wrong room. The 2 houses were next to each other, and Fang Dongxue persuaded her to drink a little wine that night. After she woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, she heard Fang Dongxue's voice in a daze and went in. She has no recollection of what happened afterwards. But she had walked into the wrong room, and she had also destroyed his marriage with Fang Dongxue. No matter what she had suffered, it was what she deserved. That he didn't bother with her and was willing to take her with him to join the army. Looking at the brand new towel in her hand, Fang Qiuyan sighed heavily. Without thinking any more, she wiped Dohua's face, took her to breakfast, and went out. Fang Qiuyan planned to cut bamboo strips for the tofu pudding first, and then pick some vegetables to take home. When I get back, I will go to study with Lin Wanshu. She has her life packed with things and has no time to think about trivial things, so she feels very fulfilled. When the mother and daughter arrived at Lin Wanshu's house, before they even entered the door, they heard loud, "Wow," from the children inside. It was as if I had seen some surprising scene. Dohwa couldn't wait any longer, so he let go of his mother's hand and rushed in quickly. As soon as I entered the yard, I saw a lot of colorful bubbles.
Wow.
Dohwa couldn't help but yelled excitedly. No child can resist bubbles all over the yard, and tofu pudding is no exception. As soon as she entered, she followed the other kids and started catching bubbles everywhere. Fong Qiuyan saw that Qiu Tingting was holding a strange object in her hand. She blew it gently, and countless bubbles flew out from the rows of round holes. Fong Qiuyan walked through the dreamy bubbles, listening to the children's cheerful laughter, and couldn't help but raise a smile at the corners of her lips. Such beauty was something she had never dared to imagine before. But now it seemed so close. He walked briskly across the yard and came to Lin Wanshu's pharmacy. As soon as I entered, I saw Lin Wanshu taking the pulse of a fashionable military wife. But unlike her usual gentle smile, she looked a little more distant at this moment. Fong Qiuyan didn't say anything, just stood aside and waited quietly. Lin Wanshu took Du Fuling's pulse. She said calmly, "The symptoms of uterine cold have improved a lot. I will prescribe some medicine for you." Du Fuling would be lying if she said she wasn't disappointed, as she had been more polite than friendly from beginning to end. But she also knew that she had indeed gone too far in the past, and that the other person was very generous enough to be willing to treat her. How could she force her to treat herself the same way she treated Yang Zheng and the others? "Thank you, Comrade Wanshu," Du Fuling said gratefully. "You're welcome." Lin Wanshu finished speaking. She called to Fong Qiuyan at the door. "Qiuyan, wait here for a while. I'll prescribe some medicine." Du Fuling was stunned when she heard her gently and kindly greeting a strange name. Following her gaze, I saw a girl standing at the door. She was dressed in tattered clothes and had a thin face, like a refugee. Her lips moved, and she wanted to ask why she would rather be nice to such a poor country bumpkin than pay attention to herself. But before she could finish her words, Du Fuling suddenly remembered that she had offended the man completely because she looked down on his country girl's identity. Thinking of this, she swallowed back the harsh words in her mouth and tried to give Fong Qiuyan a friendly smile. "Heko, comrade. Are you the new military wife?" Fong Qiuyan didn't expect that this military wife, who looked like she came from a big city, would be so enthusiastic, and she was stunned for a moment. When she reacted, she nodded at her quickly. "Yeah, I just got here not long ago." Faced with a military wife dressed so fashionably, Fong Qiuyan was actually still nervous, but she remembered Lin Wanshu's words firmly. All people are equal. She couldn't show any weakness and couldn't let Wanshu down. Du Fuling didn't know how much courage Fong Qiuyan mustered to speak to her normally without stuttering. She was somewhat surprised to see that although the soldier's wife was dressed in shabby clothes, she did not look as awkward as the poor country people. Thinking that she was like Lin Wanshu and might have some special abilities, Du Fuling did not dare to look down on her, and her smile became more genuine. "I live in a house behind the head of the group. My name is Du Fuling. You can come to my house when you have time. It will be good for us to get to know each other." Fong Qiuyan heard the sincerity in her words, rather than false courtesy, and felt less uncomfortable. "Heko, my name is Fong Qiuyan. I will come to visit you when I have time. I hope you won't find me annoying when I come." Recalling her memory of how those aunts and daughters-in-law dealt with people, Fong Qiuyan also imitated them. Fong Qiuyan's calmness also made Du Fuling more certain that she was a capable person. Otherwise, how could a person with such shabby clothes be so elegant and graceful? Just like that, two people who didn't know each other's situation unexpectedly started chatting with each other. Lin Wanshu saw that Du Fuling didn't mind Fong Qiuyan's shabby clothes. A hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. You have to know that in the entire staff compound, no one is more snobbish than Du Fuling. Has she changed her temper now? But it's good that she doesn't discriminate against Fong Qiuyan. If she says anything insulting in front of her, she will definitely kick her out. By the time Lin Wanshu finished prescribing the medicine, the two of them had already become somewhat familiar with each other in their conversation. Fang Qiuyan also knew that the person in front of her was from High City. No wonder the clothes looked so fashionable and expensive. People from such a big city were so kind and friendly to her, and Fang Qiuyan felt more and more that what Lin Wanshu said was indeed right. When getting along with others, you must first be neither humble nor arrogant, so that you can deal with them calmly. Lin Wanshu prescribed the medicine for Du Fuling. She did not ignore her after receiving the industrial invoice as she did before. Instead, she gave her a few more instructions, which was unusual for her. Du Fuling didn't expect that she would still remind her, and she felt flattered. After taking the medicine, her face turned red with excitement. Hey, I understand. I will definitely do what you say when I go back. This was the first time he had said anything extra to Lin Wanshu since she started treating him. How could Du Fuling not be excited? She went out, she was still a little dizzy and felt like she was dreaming. No one knew better than her that although Lin Wanshu seemed easy to get along with, she was actually harder to impress than anyone else. Du Fuling had tried to send her things and talk to her these days, but she was always lukewarm. Now that she has given me a few more instructions, does it mean that she is willing to accept her?
But why?
Could it be because she hadn't been sarcastic to that military wife just now? The more she thought about it, the more she felt that this was the case, and Du Fuling couldn't help but feel fortunate. Fortunately, I didn't say anything rude just now. Otherwise, Lin Wanshu might not want to treat me again next time. She never wanted to experience the excruciating pain of menstruation again. In the pharmacy, Fang Qiuyan also looked excited, and her eyes were sparkling as she looked at Lin Wanshu. Wanshu, I really did it. I'm not afraid anymore. She has learned how to deal with people. Lin Wanshu was also very happy for her. You have to know that a few days ago, the person in front of me was so inferior that he couldn't even speak clearly. I just encouraged her a bit, and she really stood up. How could she not be happy about this? Lin Wanshu wrote a few words on the notebook. Do not be happy with things, and do not be sad with yourself. Fang Qiuyan repeated these words over and over again, with greed and desire for knowledge in her eyes. No wonder scholars are so talented. It turns out that reading can really help you learn a lot of truths. Following time, she was like a sponge, madly absorbing the knowledge taught by Lin Wanshu. In addition to new words, she also began to learn to recite ancient poems, recite elementary school texts, and identify various medicinal herbs. I don't know if it's because she is gifted or because she is too eager to learn. By New Year's Eve, Fang Qiuyan had not only mastered 40 or 50 Chinese characters, but also memorized 2 ancient poems and recognized more than a dozen kinds of medicinal herbs. Lin Wanshu couldn't help but marvel at this progress. She had the opportunity to study when she was young. She would have been a rare talent. Because she is very hardworking and motivated, Lin Wanshu is willing to spend more time teaching her. Eve, she gave her 3 hours of lessons and taught her directly how to use a dictionary. Finally waiting for the class to end and sending everyone away, I looked at the time, and it was already noon. Qin Yan went to the county town to pick someone up early in the morning and has not returned yet. It turned out that the mother-in-law, Sun Shifeng, was very worried about them because they didn't go home, so she rushed over from her hometown. Knowing that her mother-in-law was coming, Lin Wanshu asked someone to help her collect a hen from the nearby brigade the day before yesterday, waiting to kill it today for the new year. It was already late, and seeing that there was no telling when Qin Yan would be back, and she couldn't kill the chicken by herself, Lin Wanshu shouted towards the back of the house. I planned to ask Wang Chunling to come over and help me. But Yu Fongfong from next door heard the noise and ran over happily. Wan, what are you going to do? Why don't you call me? Lin Wanshu already had the chicken in her hand. Upon hearing this, she raised the chicken and said to her, I want to kill the chicken. Are you sure you can help? Heard that she was actually calling someone to kill a chicken, she suddenly felt unwell. She swallowed and laughed awkwardly.
Well,
forget it. I can't help you with this. After seeing the pig being slaughtered that day, she had nightmares for 2 days. Yu Fongfong no longer dares to be stubborn. Not to mention killing chickens, She didn't even dare to watch. She only now realized that she could faint when bleeding. After a while, Wang Chunling came over. When she heard that Lin Wanshu was going to kill a chicken, she helped her grab the wings and legs without saying a word. Lin Wanshu was not vague either. She grabbed the chicken's neck and quickly plucked out the hair on its neck. Then a knife wipe. The blood flowed with a beeping sound into the bowl below that was specially used to collect blood. Yu Fongfong covered her eyes with her hands and saw Lin Wanshu's skillful knife skills through the gaps between her fingers. She was immediately impressed. As expected of her idol, he knows everything. Lin Wanshu was bleeding the chicken when she suddenly heard a scream from the door. "Oh my goodness, I could just let Mom kill it. Why do you have to kill it?" Hearing this familiar voice, Lin Wanshu's eyes lit up. He stuffed the chicken head to Wang Chunling, and she walked over quickly.
Mom.
"You are finally here." When Sun Shifeng saw her walking so fast, she suddenly became nervous. She threw her luggage aside and hurried over to support her second daughter-in-law. "Be careful. Be careful. You are heavy, you can't walk so fast." Seeing her mother-in-law looking nervous, Lin Wanshu was both amused and moved. In fact, when she was in the Qin family, although Sun Shifeng was nice to her, she was not as nice to her as she is now. Lin Wanshu knew in her heart that it was because she was about to get a job that her mother-in-law treated her so specially. But she is not the kind of person who likes to dwell on trivial matters. No matter why she is nice to me, as long as they can get along happily, it's enough.
Mom, are fine?
I'm in good health. But do you feel sick in the car? This time, Qin Hua was the one who sent someone over. Upon hearing this, he said cheerfully, "Mom said she doesn't feel dizzy at all when riding in a car. It's as comfortable as sitting in a cradle." Lin Wanshu was relieved when she saw that her mother-in-law looked very good. Yu Fongfong had never met Qin Hua, so naturally she didn't know who Sun Shifeng was. Seeing the two people being so intimate, her face was full of confusion. "Wan, this is... Didn't they say her mother died a long time ago?" Hearing this, Lin Wanshu took Sun Shifeng's hand and said with a smile, "This is my mother-in-law." Upon hearing that the person looking at Lin Wanshu with such doting expression was actually her mother-in-law, Yu Fongfong and Wang Chunling were shocked. "Wan, you're so lucky, aren't you? Not only is the man loving, but even a mother-in-law is so nice to her." Wang Chunling was almost crying with envy. Which mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are like them, like real mother and daughter? Hearing this, Sun Shifeng said happily, "It is our Qin Yan who is lucky enough to marry such a good wife. Who in the entire team doesn't envy her now?" The daughter-in-law is very capable and is about to become a doctor. She is also very filial and sends things home to her from time to time. With a lantern, Qin Yan picked up the luggage that his mother threw on the ground and then invited everyone to go into the house and sit down. Hearing this, Wang Chunling quickly waved her hand. "I won't go in. I have to go back and cook." Yu Fongfong doesn't have to cook, but she's not the kind of person who would be tactless. The family had just reunited and were reminiscing about the past. Why would she disturb them? I'll go back and help kill the chickens. Auntie, Brother Qin, you two can chat first. Lin Wanshu. I don't even know how to find a decent excuse. In the end, regardless of the incongruity, Lin Wanshu took Sun Shifeng's arm and walked towards the kitchen. "Mom, are you hungry? I'll make some noodles for you and Big Brother." Sun Shifeng looked at her daughter-in-law's slightly bulging belly with a smile. Hearing this, she patted her hands and said, "Don't worry, Mom can eat whatever she wants." Lin Wanshu let her do it. She helped her sit on the stool and said angrily, "Mom, I'm just pregnant. It's not a big deal. How can making noodles make me tired? Wait, I'll go call Meow Meow back to play with you." When she mentioned Meow Meow, Sun Shifeng's attention was indeed diverted. "Look at my memory. I was so busy talking to you that I forgot where my little Meow Meow is. We haven't seen each other for such a long time. Your father, and I miss you so much." Qin Yan had already put away his luggage. Hearing this, he said to Lin Wanshu, "I know where she is. I'll bring her back." After saying that, he turned and walked out. Seeing this, Lin Wanshu didn't care anymore and went to the cupboard to get out some noodles, planning to cook them for lunch first and then prepare the New Year's Eve dinner. Sun Shifeng is a person who can't sit still. The daughter-in-law asked her to sit and wait for food, but she couldn't sit still, so she went over to help light the fire. Qin Hua is also a person who feels uncomfortable when he is idle. He knew exactly what to do on New Year's Eve, and he would help out spontaneously without being asked. As they were busy, they heard the clear and loud sound of a baby being nursed in the yard. "Mom, I'm back." Hearing Xiao Miao's voice, Sun Shifeng immediately stopped caring about making a fire. Throwing the firewood away, she ran straight to the door. When she saw Miao Miao, who had grown taller, she shouted in surprise, "Miao Miao, look who I am." Xiao Miao suddenly saw a strange yet familiar figure, and she was stunned where she was. Tilting her head, she looked at the person in front of her curiously. Sun Shifeng had already squatted down, looking at her expectantly. "Miao Miao, don't you remember me? I made sesame candy for you at home." When Xiao Miao heard the word sesame candy, her eyes lit up and a name flashed through her mind, and she blurted it out. "Milky Milky." Seeing that she really recognized her, Sun Shifeng was so excited. He picked up the little guy and loved him with all his heart and soul. Don't underestimate Miao Miao because she is a girl. But the Qin family has only boys, and they finally got a cute little girl, so the whole family dotes on her. Although Miao Miao is small, she is as smart as a human. Knowing that her grandmother was good to her, her mouth was as sweet as honey, and she kept calling her grandmother, which made Sun Shifeng smile happily. After lunch, the family was busy preparing the New Year's Eve dinner. Lin Wanshu and Sun Shifeng were responsible for cooking, while the brothers Qin Yan and Qin Hua were responsible for pasting the couplets. Little Miao Miao had nothing to do, so she watched her father and uncle putting up couplets, and then she watched her grandmother plucking chicken feathers. Lin Wanshu was frying tofu balls in the kitchen. In the distance, the sound of children setting off firecrackers could be heard from time to time. Xiao Miao just went to set off firecrackers with her brothers and sisters. Hearing the sound of firecrackers, she became restless again. Seeing that she couldn't stay any longer, Lin Wanshu asked her to go out and play. "Be careful, don't hold the firecrackers with your hands, and hide away when you see them, okay?" The baby left the house. She gave him a few instructions. The little guy nodded randomly and ran out without looking back. Children in rural areas are left to roam freely, so Sun Shifeng is not worried at all about her granddaughter going out to play with other children. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are each busy with their own things. After a while, the two brothers came back after pasting the couplets. The family of four worked together, and the New Year's Eve dinner was ready around 3 in the afternoon. After eating at home, Qin Yan had to rush to the army to celebrate the New Year with the soldiers. Therefore, they had their New Year's Eve dinner very early. While eating, Qin Yan went to find Xiao Miao again. The whole family sat around the table and had the New Year's Eve dinner. Sun Shifeng hadn't seen her second son for 2.5 years, so she was naturally very concerned. But Qin Yan is a taciturn person and only answers one question at a time. He speaks very briefly. It was really boring to chat with him. After expressing her concern for a few words, Sun Shifeng started chatting with her daughter-in-law. The focus is on talking about hometown. After all, how could a letter from home once a month tell so many things about the family? But as the two of them were talking, they somehow ended up talking about He Manxiang. I can tell at a glance that she's up to no good. She asks our neighbors about something every now and then. She always looks unhappy when she knows that you and Qin Yan are living well here.
Ugh.
What a black-hearted person. Sun Shifeng will never forget the first letter that Lin Wanshu sent home after joining the army, and He Manxiang's strange reaction when she heard the letter. Isn't she just hoping that something bad will happen to her son? Lin Wanshu quickly patted her back and comforted her. "Mom, don't get angry with this kind of villain. Let's just live our own lives." But Sun Shifeng was still angry. She didn't know what she was thinking of. She whispered in Lin Wanshu's ear, "I heard people say that she had some dirty affairs with Wang Yongsheng." When talking about gossip, Sun Shifeng's eyes light up. If she hadn't taken her granddaughter into consideration, she would have been unable to hold back. To hear that He Manxiang was related to Wang Yongsheng. In her previous life, she had investigated every detail of Zhao Mingyuan's affairs. Naturally, I know what is going on between Wang Yongsheng and Zhao Mingyuan. Isn't he Zhao Mingyuan's mistress? How did he get involved with He Manxiang? Seeing that she didn't believe it, Sun Shifeng moved closer to her and whispered something to her. It's true. People in the village have seen this happen several times. Wang Yongsheng would give He Manxiang 2 eggs whenever he had time. Who would give eggs to others if it didn't matter? After all, eggs are precious things that can be exchanged for money. It is no exaggeration to say that it is hard currency. Ordinary people can't bear to eat it themselves, so how can they give it to others? Heard that He Manxiang was pregnant 3 months earlier than her, and thought about how Wang Yongsheng frequently sent her eggs. Her expression suddenly became a little subtle. Zhao Mingyuan was born incompetent and had no interest in women. So, where did He Manxiang's seed come from? Thinking that Zhao Mingyuan might have been a cuckold, or been cuckolded by his mistress, Lin Wanshu couldn't help but want to laugh. I wonder if He Manxiang, who knows the truth, will regret her choice in this life? While talking to Qin Hua, Qin Yan was taking care of Xiao Miao Miao and also had to listen to his mother telling Lin Wanshu about things in the village. When Qin Yan heard his mother calling He Manxiang on the left and Zhao Mingyuan on the right, his face turned a little unhappy. Although Zhao Mingyuan is a waste, he was Lin Wanshu's legitimate husband in his previous life. If possible, Qin Yan hopes that this name will never appear in his wife's ears in this life. Lin Wanshu looked up. She saw her man's dark eyes and was stunned. Realizing that he might have heard the secret conversations between her and her mother-in-law, she felt helpless and a little amused. Finally, when no one was paying attention, Lin Wanshu reached out and pulled his hand. And Qin Yan couldn't be coaxed. She comforted him a little, and his mood improved visibly. But he changed the topic calmly. Here, a family of 5 is having a lively New Year's Eve dinner. On the other side, Fang Qiuyan had just prepared the New Year's Eve dinner. After she put the dishes on the table and was about to look for tofu pudding, she saw Lu Jingsong walking in from the door with a bag in his hand. Seeing him, Fang Qiuyan hurriedly greeted him. Are you back? The meal is ready, you can eat now. Lu Jingsong said, Then he handed the bag in his hand to Fang Qiuyan. What's this? Fang Qiuyan reached out to take the bag and asked casually. Ever since she dealt with Du Fuling once, Fang Qiuyan hardly stutters when she speaks. I feel more comfortable talking to people. Lu Jingsong raised his eyes to look at her, then lowered his eyes and said in a light voice, It's beef jerky. After hearing this, Fang Qiuyan almost dropped the bag in her hand. Beef jerky? Is this all in this bag? She swallowed and asked with some difficulty. Lu Jingsong. All of them. Fang Qiuyan. This looks like it must weigh 2 or 3 pounds. It's beef jerky. How valuable it must be. You should leave it there. I'm afraid I might lose it by accident. Fang Qiuyan held the bag in both hands and handed it back to Lu Jingsong. Lu Jingsong's face suddenly turned a little dark. If I tell you to take it, then take it. Fang Qiuyan didn't know why she suddenly got angry again. But she knew that he would often be moody when he was with her. She was used to it and didn't try to refute him again. After taking the bag back, she thought for a moment and asked, then, should I send something back to them? After all, others gave them so much dried meat. How could they not show some appreciation? When Lu Jingsong heard this, he was stunned. Looking at the pair of dark eyes in front of him, he suddenly realized that she had such beautiful eyes. Realizing what he was thinking, Lu Jingsong's face turned dark again. Then he said in a bad tone, No need for you, I have my own arrangements. Fang Qiuyan. Are you angry again? Baffling. Fang Qiuyan thought about it and thought that he probably thought she was an eyesore, which was why he was always grouchy. Today is New Year's Eve, and she doesn't want to endure this inexplicable anger. I followed his example, said, oh, lightly, then took the bag and left. Lu Jingsong. Fang Qiuyan had just arrived here and was unfamiliar with the place, so she had to refer to Lin Wanshu for everything she did. Seeing her buying a chicken, she hesitated for a moment and then bought one too. But she couldn't bear to buy a big one, so she bought a smaller one. She personally followed Yang Zheng to the village to buy the chicken, spending $5. Fang Qiuyan is actually quite talented in cooking. However, although her husband's family conditions are not bad, her mother-in-law is very stingy, and she even has to watch her use of oil. When cooking a dish, just lightly grease the pan with lard, and that's considered adding oil. Don't even think about soy sauce and MSG. Cooking basically depends on salt. Under such difficult conditions, Fang Qiuyan tried her best to make the dishes more delicious. Coming here, she was afraid that if the food she cooked wasn't tasty, Lu Jingsong would dislike her even more, so she gritted her teeth and bought some seasonings. She made a big plate of chicken from the hen she bought the day before yesterday. At this moment, the whole kitchen was filled with a delicious smell. After Fang Qiuyan found Do Hua playing with firecrackers, she took her to wash her hands. Mom, Sister Tingting's rocket launcher is so powerful, it flies so high. Brother Shin Xiai also has fireworks, colorful and beautiful. Although Do Hua has returned, it is obvious that his heart is still outside. He excitedly shared the joy of setting off firecrackers with his mother. The children in the village also have firecrackers. The varieties are not as rich as those here. Today's tofu pudding really opened my eyes. Fang Qiuyan was very happy to see her daughter becoming more and more cheerful and making so many new friends. Who was standing by, knew that he had just spoken out of turn and wanted to apologize to Fang Qiuyan. But looking at the mother and daughter, who were chatting while washing their hands, he subconsciously swallowed the words in his mouth, as if he was afraid that his voice would disturb the harmonious scene before him. Do Hua seemed to have noticed something, and she raised her little head. When she saw it was the legendary father, she, who was originally as happy as a bird, suddenly became like a mouse seeing a cat and dared not make a sound. Lu Jingsong. Fang Qiuyan saw Lu Jingsong standing aside without saying anything and thought he also wanted to wash his hands, so she quickly gave up her seat. We've done the washing, you can do it. Having said that, she took Do Hua back to the kitchen. After a while, Lu Jingsong also came back with wet hands. It was obvious that he had just washed his hands. Do Hua was sitting on a chair waiting for her mother to serve her food. Suddenly saw Lu Jingsong. She was a little flustered. Lu Jingsong felt very uncomfortable seeing her like this. But he didn't know what to say to her, so he could only sit down in silence. After a while, Fang Qiuyan prepared 3 bowls of rice. Today is New Year's Eve. According to the custom in my hometown, we cook dry rice without any sweet potatoes. Saw the white rice. His eyes widened, and he no longer cared about his scary father.
Mom.
Shall we eat this? Her weak voice was full of disbelief, which made people feel sad. It turned out that when the mother and daughter were in their hometown, they still ate sweet potato porridge during the Chinese New Year, and they never had a chance to eat white rice. If she hadn't met Lin Wanshu, Fang Qiuyan might have cooked a bowl of sweet potato porridge for herself and Do Hua. But she won't do such stupid things again. If she doesn't even respect herself, how can she expect others to respect her? Yes, we're going to eat this tonight. Mom also left a big chicken drumstick for you. As she spoke, she picked up a chicken leg and put it in her bowl. Seeing the big chicken leg in the bowl, Do Hua couldn't help but swallowed hard. But then, she suddenly shook her head, not knowing what she thought of.
No.
I don't want the chicken legs for the tofu pudding. Give the chicken legs to Brother Hongkai. Lu Hongkai is Do Hua's cousin, and also Lu Jingsong's nephew. Is the most favored one on weekdays. Only he can eat big chicken legs and other things. Anyone else will be scolded if they look at him. Do Hua has been beaten and scolded so many times that he can't help but tremble when he sees chicken legs. How can he dare to eat them? Lu Jingsong felt mixed emotions when he saw that his daughter didn't even dare to eat a chicken leg. He guessed that they had a hard life, but he didn't expect that they would suffer so much. Fang Qiuyan felt sorry for her daughter and didn't pay attention to Lu Jingsong's expression. Touching Do Hua's head, she comforted him. Brother Hongkai is in his hometown.
This is the army.
You can eat whatever you want. Don't be afraid. Mom will protect you in the future. Do Hua had no idea about the geographical location. She only vaguely understood that her mother would protect her in the future. She could eat chicken legs in peace without worrying about being beaten or scolded. Thinking of this, she could no longer resist the temptation of the chicken leg. She grabbed the chicken leg in the bowl and began to devour it voraciously. Fang Qiuyan was afraid that she would choke, so she quickly made her a bowl of soup. Eat the tofu slowly. Don't eat so hastily. But how could a child who had not eaten meat for years slow down when he suddenly ate a chicken leg? In a short while, the chicken leg was eaten clean. After finishing the meal, she still felt a little unsatisfied. But she just glanced at the chicken in the bowl and didn't reach out for the chopsticks to pick it up. Instead, she lowered her head and ate her meal obediently. Fang Qiuyan was afraid that she had no oil in her stomach and would not be able to handle eating too much meat at once, so she did not plan to let her eat as much as she wanted. However, Lu Jingsong mistakenly thought that she didn't dare to pick up more food, so he tentatively picked up a piece of chicken for the tofu pudding. Here, have some more tofu pudding. How could Do Hua have expected that this father, who seemed like a stranger, would suddenly pick up some chicken for him? I was stunned on the spot. Looking at the extra chicken in the bowl, she didn't know whether to eat it or not. For a moment, she was so embarrassed that she didn't move at all. Seeing that she seemed to be frightened again, Lu Jingsong felt helpless and self-blaming. She didn't even dare to accept her own concern. You can imagine how derelict he is as a father. Fang Qiuyan glanced at her frightened daughter and felt a little more bitter in her heart. No matter what grudges there are between her and Lu Jingsong, at least he is Do Hua's father. Although Do Hua didn't say it, Fang Qiuyan knew that she still longed for fatherly love in her heart. Thinking of this, she softened her voice and said soothingly, "Don't be afraid, Do Hua. He is your father. This is the chicken your father gave you. Eat it quickly." Hearing this, Do Hua looked up at her mother. When she saw the encouragement in her mother's eyes, she seemed to have found support and picked up the chicken in the bowl and started eating. Seeing that she was willing to accept the meat he picked up, Lu Jingsong breathed a sigh of relief. He raised his eyes to look at the woman opposite him, only to see that she was eating her meal quietly, without even glancing at him. It was as if there was nothing here worthy of her concern except tofu pudding. Lu Jingsong frowned. Why did she say something different from Fang Dongxue? She really like him? Fang Qiuyan never looked at Lu Jingsong from beginning to end. Firstly, she knew that he hated her and Fang Qiuyan didn't want to make everyone unhappy during the new year. Secondly, to her, he was actually just a stranger who bore the title of her husband. Unless it was necessary, she would not go to him to cause trouble. The New Year's Eve dinner was finished with the three of them chatting casually. It was mainly Fang Qiuyan who talked to Do Hua. Lu Jingsong occasionally wanted to interrupt and say a few words to Do Hua, but she had no other response except, oh. Lu Jingsong was extremely frustrated. After Do Hua finally finished his meal, he couldn't wait to jump off the chair. "Mom, I want to play firecrackers with my brothers and sisters." When talking about firecrackers, Do Hua's eyes lit up and she no longer had the timidity she had when facing Lu Jingsong. Lu Jingsong felt a little uncomfortable. Suddenly thinking of something, he took out a red envelope from his pocket. "Do Hua, this is the New Year's money your dad gave you." Do Hua was stunned again when he saw the red envelope handed to him. When she finally reacted, she looked at Fang Qiuyan helplessly. Fang Qiuyan squatted beside her, touched her head, and encouraged her. "This is the New Year's money your father gave you. Please accept it. Remember to say thank you to your father and wish you good fortune and prosperity." Hearing this, Do Hua slowly stretched out her hand and took the red envelope from Lu Jingsong. "Thank you. Thank you, Dad."
Dad.
"Congratulations. Congratulations on your prosperity." He spoke so haltingly that his tongue almost broke. But when Lu Jingsong heard her call him Dad for the first time, he suddenly felt a strange feeling in his heart. It was as if something had taken root inside. Looking at the little guy in front of me whose eyes and eyebrows are very similar to mine, an indescribable tenderness surged in my heart. "Do Hua, do you want to set off firecrackers? Daddy will take you there, okay?" For fear of scaring her, Lu Jingsong spoke very softly. When Dohua heard this, he subconsciously looked at Fang Qiuyan. His face still had that helpless and pitiful look. Fang Qiuyan was naturally happy to see Lu Jingsong, wanting to get close to Dohua. Dohua, don't you want to go set off firecrackers? Your dad is very good and can set off a lot of interesting firecrackers. Don't you want to watch? Heard that his father could also set off a lot of awesome firecrackers. His eyes lit up and he looked at Lu Jingsong with anticipation on his face.
Think.
She said this excitedly and was eager to go with Lu Jingsong. But just as he took a small step, he was stopped by Fang Qiuyan. Not yet, you need to take a shower before you can go out and play. After all, today is New Year's Eve, so I should take a shower early. Dohua was also very well behaved. When he heard that she was going to take a bath, she hurried back to the room to get her clothes. The child left, and there was another strange couple left in the kitchen. Facing Lu Jingsong, Fang Qiuyan has become more and more calm. No more stuttering. Can you wait a moment? She asked in a calm tone. Lu Jingsong gradually got used to her transformation. Hearing this, he nodded. Still a stingy one-word response. Fang Qiuyan didn't take it seriously. She filled a bucket of water for the tofu pudding and took it to the shower room. After Dohua found the clothes, she carefully washed her hair and gave her a bath. Finally, she changed into the new clothes that the girl had made for her when she was back home. Although they were said to be new clothes, they were actually altered from her old clothes. Although there are no patches on it, you can still see that the fabric is old. Dohua didn't mind. She was very happy to put on her new clothes. He opened his arms and turned around in front of Fang Qiuyan. Mom, does it look good? Of course, it was good-looking. After all, the mother and daughter lived such a difficult life that even their clothes had to be made 2 sizes larger. I'm afraid if it's too small, it won't fit me next year. Looking at the half-new and slightly too large clothes she was wearing, Fang Qiuyan felt a little sad. But she still smiled and nodded. My tofu pudding is so pretty. It looks good on anything. Wan Shu said that children need more encouragement so that they will be braver and more confident. Fang Qiuyan felt that everything she said was right, and she did it without any hesitation. Sure enough, Dohua smiled happily when he heard her praise. Who was standing in the yard, saw Dohua wearing a New Year outfit that was obviously made from old clothes and looked very satisfied. In an instant, the bits of guilt in his heart finally gathered into a vast ocean, almost drowning him. What on earth was he doing? How could he allow his own flesh and blood to live such a miserable life? Dohua had no idea of her father's worries, so she skipped towards him wearing her new clothes. Dad. Are we still setting off firecrackers? Walking up to Lu Jingsong, Dohua looked up at him. Lu Jingsong looked at the tofu pudding with its sleeves and trouser legs folded in half, and he didn't know what to feel. His lips moved, and finally, he said in a somewhat dry voice, "Let go." The father and daughter went out, leaving Fang Qiuyan alone at home. She quickly cleared the dishes and looked at the sky. It seemed to be just after 4 o'clock. Taking advantage of this time, she hurried back to the room to review what Lin Wanshu had taught her in the past 2 days. Lin Wanshu gave her a storybook. She recognized many of the words in the storybook, and for the few she didn't recognize, she looked up the new words in the dictionary, wrote them down, and practiced them. Just by looking up the dictionary while reading, she was able to slowly understand the story in the book. Fang Qiuyan read the stories eagerly and didn't know how much time had passed until it was too dark to see the words anymore. She then got up to take a shower. Xiao Dohua had her old clothes turned into New Year outfits, but she had nothing of her own. New Year's Day, she was still wearing the same 2 pieces of clothes that she wore every day and which had many patches on them. After taking a shower and washing her hair, Fang Qiuyan dried the water from her hair before going back to the house. After entering the room, she fumbled in the cupboard and took out the skin cream and body lotion given by Lin Wanshu. Fang Qiuyan was used to being frugal in her life, and there was no electricity in her rural hometown. Therefore, she usually did not turn on the lights in her room during the time she had been in the family compound. Opening the skincare products, she started applying them in the dark, using the faint light from the window. Wiping her face, she skillfully took off her clothes, scooped out a large amount of lotion, and rubbed it on her body. I have to say, this skincare product is really amazing. After only using it for a few days, she felt her skin had become much smoother. Visible effects also made Fang Qiuyan more active in using it. After carefully applying lotion all over her body, she prepared to put on her clothes. But at this moment, there was a sudden creaking sound from the door.
Who?
Fang Qiuyan shouted loudly, and quickly picked up the clothes on the bed to block in front of her. But it's too late. Although it was dark in the room, there was still a little light outside the window. Even if there is only a little light, what should be seen and what should not be seen are still completely exposed to the visitor. Lu Jingsong went out with Do Hua to play with firecrackers and then took her to the army. After celebrating the spring festival with the soldiers, Do Hua fell asleep. He had no choice but to carry her all the way home. After returning home, the whole yard was quiet. The room where Fang Qiuyan usually slept was not locked. Lu Jingsong thought she had gone out, so he didn't think much about it and just pushed the door open. Who would have thought that there would be such a vivid and colorful scene inside? After hearing her loud shout that Lu Jingsong suddenly reacted, "Sorry, I didn't mean it," turned away quickly, apologizing. Fang Qiuyan covered herself and rushed to the door quickly, closing it with a bang. But the door that could normally be locked with a push suddenly popped open. Fang Qiuyan realized that the door was broken. She was thinking about the story in the book and didn't notice that the door was not locked. In the end, Fang Qiuyan could only hide behind the door and put on her clothes quickly with trembling hands. Outside the door, Lu Jingsong explained awkwardly, "I'm sorry, Do Hua fell asleep, and I saw that the door was not closed, so I thought you were not at home." When Fang Qiuyan heard her voice, her hands shook even more violently. The buttons that could be easily buttoned on normal days now took me 4 or 5 tries to get them into the buttonhole. After waiting for a long time for her to put on her clothes, she didn't say a word. She just stood behind the door blankly, like a wooden figure. Seeing that she didn't react for a long time, Lu Jingsong thought she was very scared and felt even more guilty. His lips moved, and he was hesitating about how to apologize so that she would forgive his offense when the door suddenly creaked open. The moment the door opened, an indescribable warm fragrance wafted into Lu Jingsong's nose, and he was stunned. Then, he heard Fang Qiuyan's cold voice. "Give me the tofu pudding." Hearing this, Lu Jingsong subconsciously handed over the tofu pudding. The next moment, the warm fragrance came closer. Lu Jingsong just shook his head and felt the little guy in his arms being taken away by a pair of thin and weak hands. Because they were handing over the child, their hands inevitably touched. Although they separated only in a split second, Fang Qiuyan stepped back suddenly, as if she had been electrocuted. Then there was another bang and the door was closed. The SP-ped was so fast, as if the person outside the door was some kind of monster. Lu Jingsong. Knowing that he had scared the person, how could Lu Jingsong dare to stay any longer? "I'm going to the military camp. You should go to bed early." After saying this, he turned around and left in a hurry. In the room, Fang Qiuyan's face turned pale and she was shaking all over. Only when she heard his footsteps getting farther and farther away did she force herself to go to the bedside, holding Do Hua. After putting the man down, she sat on the bed in a daze. How is it possible not to feel resentful? Although it was indeed her fault for walking into the wrong room, he did indeed take away her innocence. She gave birth to Do Hua alone, suffered a lot, and almost died. When Fang Qiuyan thought about what had just happened, she felt an indescribable fear. Early the next morning, before Lin Wanshu got up, she heard the crackling sound of firecrackers outside. Because 2 people came, she slept in the same room with her mother-in-law and Meow Meow last night. 2 camp beds were set up in the pharmacy for the 2 grown men to sleep on. Fortunately, the weather was not very cold, so each person only needed a thin blanket. If the temperature drops, she will have to borrow a quilt from someone first. Although she has no shortage of quilts in her space, she won't just take out things that she doesn't have a clear path to. If someone sees this, there will be no way to explain it. After all, so many people come to her house every day. Hearing the sound of firecrackers, Xiao Miao Miao turned over and climbed out of bed. Meow Meow, fire the cannon. After playing with firecrackers all night last night, the little one was really into this newfangled toy. When she saw someone setting off firecrackers outside, how could she resist? Lin Wanshu had no choice but to get up as well. Slow down, put on your clothes before going out. The little guy played like crazy last night and was already asleep when we came back. Lin Wanshu was afraid of waking her up, so she just took off her coat and didn't change her into pajamas. When Xiao Miao Miao heard her mother calling her to put on her clothes, she simply picked up her coat at the end of the bed and ran out. Lin Wanshu was so angry that she just wanted to catch her and spank her. Why do you get more naughty as you grow older? In the yard, Sun Shifeng was picking vegetables. When she saw her granddaughter running out with her coat, she was immediately both angry and amused. But she couldn't bear to curse, so she waved at her. Meow Meow, why didn't you put on your coat before coming out? Come here, Grandma will help you put it on. But when Xiao Miao Miao heard this, she shook her head. Meow Meow, send me some clothes. Mom said to send whatever you want. As she spoke, she picked up her coat and began to pierce the holes. But she was too young after all and couldn't tell up from down. After finally guessing it right, her hands were too short. After she put on one sleeve, she couldn't find the other one. That cute little look made Sun Shifeng very happy. Oh, my silly little girl, you are too young to wear it. Come here and let Grandma help you put it on. After saying that, she put down the dishes in her hands, wiped the water stains on her hands on her apron, and then walked towards Xiao Miao Miao. Xiao Miao Miao tried hard for a while. Sweat broke out on her forehead, but she still couldn't put on her clothes. In the end, you can only accept your fate and let your grandma help you put it on. After Sun Shifeng helped her put on her clothes, the little girl politely said, "Thank you." Sun Shifeng was really excited about it. Our Meow Meow is just like a city kid, pretty and polite. Xiao Miao Miao doesn't know what a city kid is. But she could tell that her grandmother was praising her, so she grinned with her little teeth showing. After Qin Yan set off the firecrackers, a group of children came to the door and looked for the unexploded firecrackers on the ground. When I found one, I happily put it in my pocket, planning to put it away slowly over the next few days. Little Meow Meow also ran over to join in the fun, but she was too young and had no idea what they were looking for. I just followed my brothers and sisters and looked up and down at the ground. After picking up firecrackers and eating breakfast, it was time for the children's favorite annual New Year's greetings. They were seen carrying bags prepared in advance and going door to door to send blessings. In the family compound also prepared snacks and red envelopes early. Whenever there are children coming to wish a Happy New Year, each of them will be given a handful of snacks and a red envelope. The red envelopes usually contain only a dime or two. Even though it's only a dime or two, it can buy a lot of snacks in this era. Xiao Miao Miao also carried the little rabbit bag prepared by her mother and followed her brothers and sisters happily to deliver blessings to every household. She was pretty and dressed nicely, and the military wives couldn't help but give her a handful of snacks. After running to 7 or 8 houses, Xiao Miao Miao stopped. Meow Meow, let's go. Why don't you leave? Shen Yu quickly greeted her. It's so great to celebrate the Chinese New Year. In such a short time, he got so many snacks. He must be the most popular guy this year. Shen Yu thought happily as he looked at his bag, which was almost full. But when Xiao Miao Miao heard this, her two pretty little eyebrows frowned together. Hearing this, Shen Yu felt a little strange. What's full? Feng Jianxi rolled his eyes. Silly, my sister's bag is full, and there is no more space. Just now, Shen Yu was busy collecting snacks and didn't pay attention to Xiao Miao Miao's bag. Now looking at it, as expected, her little white rabbit-shaped bag was already stuffed full. Why do you have so many? Shen Yu asked with a look of doubt on his face. He had just said so many nice things, but he could only barely fill half the bag. My sister just said Happy New Year and it was full? Come here, sister. I'll help you carry it home. Feng Jianxi ignored him and volunteered to speak to Meow Meow. But without giving him a chance to do anything, Wang Qingqing directly picked up Xiao Miao Miao's bag. Can you carry 2 bags? Let me do it. Shen Xiai was not here at last, and Feng Jianxi thought he finally had a chance to shine, but who knew that Wang Qingqing would interrupt? Don't look down on me. I can carry 3 bags, not to mention 2. If you don't believe me, try to carry them for me. Hearing this, Wang Qingqing turned around and made a face at him. Lululu, I won't give it to you. If you have the guts, come and chase me. After saying that, she ran away. Feng Jianxi was so angry that he fell backwards. Wang stopped right there. Shouting, he ran after him. Xiao Miaomiao saw that her snacks were taken away. She quickly spread her short legs and ran after them. Wait a minute. Shen Yu originally wanted to go to the next house to pay New Year's greetings, but when he saw Miao Miao running away, he had no choice but to go back with them. In the end, most of the group ran away, leaving only Dohua standing there holding his snacks. She had never celebrated a New Year like this before. There are so many fun firecrackers, so many delicious snacks, and warm and lovely friends. Everything seemed so beautiful, as if it was a dream. Dohua was so dizzy that she couldn't react to why her friends ran away. When she came to her senses and was about to catch up with the main group, her way was blocked by someone. Where did this little beggar come from? Why are you wearing such tattered clothes during New Year's Day? Hearing these malicious and mocking words, Dohua froze in place instantly. Looking at the boy in front of her who was as strong as an ox, her face turned pale and her body began to tremble.
I.
Dohua wanted to say that she was not a beggar, but when she saw the other person wearing a bright and beautiful suit, she lowered her head in inferiority. Zhuang saw this. He laughed even more unscrupulously. Hey, little beggar, why are you coming to our family compound if you're not going out to beg? Is this where you're supposed to be? As he said that, he stretched out his hand and pushed towards the tofu pudding. Dohua's face was full of fear, but she didn't dare to hide. Being bullied in the village, and she knew very well that if she hid, she might be beaten up. Dohua held on to his snacks tightly, hoping that they would fall apart when he fell. But God did not hear her call. Under the huge push, Dohua fell heavily to the ground, and the snacks in his arms scattered all over the floor. Snacks in this era didn't have packaging bags, so when they were scattered, they were all covered with mud. Dohua had finally gotten half a bag of snacks, but now it was all covered in dirt. My snack! Not caring about his skewered arm, Dohua hurriedly went to pick up his snacks. Zhuang looked at her embarrassed and pitiful appearance. Not only did he not feel any sympathy, he also burst into laughter. While laughing, he led the other 2 children and stepped on the snacks on the ground. A little beggar, wearing a sack, with a hat like a pot lid and pants like pickles. Lin Wanshu came out to call Qin Hua to go back for dinner, but she never expected to see such a scene.
Stop.
Who told you to bully her? With a roar of anger, she quickly walked towards them. The children ran away. After all, Lin Wanshu was still pregnant with a baby, so she didn't dare to chase after him. Only vaguely recognized that he was Du Fuling's son, who was bullying others together with Mao Mao and another person whose family I didn't know. But she couldn't care less now. She walked quickly to Dohua's side and reached out to help the little guy up. How is it? Are you injured anywhere? When Dohua saw that it was Lin Wanshu, he immediately burst into tears.
Wow. Auntie.
Annie, my snacks are gone. Dohua is so sad. She had never had so many snacks before, and if she ate them sparingly, they would last her 3 months. Now they are all gone. Seeing her crying pitifully, Lin Wanshu hurriedly comforted her. Don't cry, Dohua. Auntie has a lot of snacks. I'll fill a bag for you later, okay? But Dohua was still very sad. These snacks are different. She and her friends got it by sending blessings to each family. Now it's all ruined. She felt that her beautiful dream was ruthlessly shattered. Such beauty turned out to be fake. How could she deserve it? Lin Wanshu felt her collapse hidden beneath her crying, and suddenly felt very uncomfortable. She squatted down and hugged Dohua in her arms to comfort her, regardless of the dust on her body. Maybe it was because her voice was too gentle, but Dohua finally stopped crying. Looking at his sleeves that had turned a little gray, Dohua asked somewhat dejectedly, Will they still accept my blessing? Would they despise her for being a little beggar? Lin Wanshu had just heard the mocking words of a few children, and now she saw Do Hua's inferiority complex and cowardice. She suddenly felt very distressed. Touching her little face, she comforted her. Yes, just like before, everyone will accept your blessing. No one can choose their own birth. It doesn't matter that our conditions are not good now. You're still young. When you go to school, study hard. Your future will have unlimited possibilities. Read? Do Hua blinked her confused eyes. The story of Aunt Wanshu that her mother told her 2 days ago suddenly flashed through her mind. Mom said that Aunt Wanshu had the same childhood as hers. Without new clothes, there is still endless work to do every day. But she is so powerful now. Thinking of this, the confusion in her eyes gradually disappeared, replaced by a look of determination.
Well,
I will study hard in the future. She also wants to be as powerful as Aunt Wanshu. Lin Wanshu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when she saw that Do Hua finally stopped crying and was willing to go with her. I helped her pick up the bag, and then led her back. Sun Shifeng was sitting in the yard, happily waiting for the children to come and wish her a happy new year. She was startled when she saw Lin Wanshu coming back with a disheveled little girl. Wanshu, what happened? Isn't this the child who was playing with our Meow Meow just now? How did he become like this? As she spoke, she went forward to help her brush off the dust. Oh, poor child, did you fall down? Do Hua's eyes were filled with warmth as she was cared for by 2 elders like family members. Her dream was not shattered. Sun Shifeng soon found out that it was the 3 kids who bullied others, and her face immediately turned bad. How could such an ignorant kid push someone like this during New Year's Day? Then, she said to Lin Wanshu with a distressed look on her face, Wanshu, clean her wound first. Don't leave any scars. Even though it's just a skin abrasion, there is still a lot of dirt and sand left on it, and it can easily leave scars if it's not cleaned thoroughly. The other children and Meow Meow finished pouring snacks and came out of the kitchen. Seeing that Do Hua was injured, everyone gathered around him. Do Hua, what's wrong with you? Qiu Tingting asked with concern. Did someone bully you? Tell me who it is, and I'll help you beat him up. Shen Yu was the most direct. He rolled up his sleeves and looked like he was ready to fight. That's right, Do Hua. Don't be afraid. If anyone dares to bully you, Wang Qingqing, will be the first to break his legs. Wang Qingqing is a girl. She is just as good as Shen Yu in fighting. On weekdays, she would compete with boys to see who could dig out the most bird nests. When he heard that Do Hua was bullied, he became angry. Do Hua listened to their caring words, and suddenly, the sadness in her heart disappeared and was replaced by full of emotion. They don't think she is a beggar and care about her so much. Very nice. Lin Wanshu looked at the group of children shouting and yelling, feeling both angry and amused. Solving the problem with violence is a bad idea. We want to protect our sister, but we can't just rely on force to solve the problem, right? After hearing this, the children's anger quickly calmed down. Ever since they learned that Lin Wanshu could prescribe bitter medicine and prick people with needles, the children's liking for her turned into respect, love, and fear for her. It can be said that a word she said is more effective than 10 words from her own mother. And I understand. We will find out what happened and seek justice for Do Hua. Qiu Tingting now enjoys a high reputation in the children's circle. When Shen Xi was not around, she was like the second child king, speaking calmly to Lin Wanshu. Yes, we don't fight. We win people over with virtue. Shen Yu also echoed from the side. And his conquering others with virtue doesn't seem like he has any good intentions. Lin Wanshu didn't care about them. After all, they were in the family compound and couldn't cause much trouble. After giving a few instructions, he took Do Hua to treat the wound. Do Hua's sleeves were torn by the mud and sand and were stained with dark red blood. Lin Wanshu carefully rolled up her sleeves and cleaned her wound with disinfectant. The children followed into the pharmacy one by one. As long as they don't have to take medicine or get injections, they are still happy to come here, especially when they come to watch other children get injections or medications. The wound was not deep, just a scratch. After Lin Wanshu disinfected her and applied ointment, She took out a new military uniform from the house and put it on Dohua. This is the military uniform that I made for Miao Miao. It was accidentally too big for her to wear now, so I'm giving it to you. This military uniform was actually made by Lin Wanshu herself. Xiao Miao Miao likes to wear it, so she just made some more. There are those that are just the right size, as well as those that are a little larger. It can be said that there are military uniforms for all age groups, from 1 to 4 years old. On her hands was also sewn by her before the new year. Dohua has never worn new clothes since she was born. When she saw this brand new military uniform, her eyes could hardly move. That's a military uniform. In this era, no matter whether you are an adult or a child, anyone who wears a military uniform will look majestic when walking on the street. But Dohua always keeps his mother's words in mind. That don't belong to you.
Aunt.
I don't want it. Leave it for my sister. Dohua looked away with some difficulty. I was afraid that if I looked at it one more time, I would regret it. Seeing her eager yet principled look, Lin Wanshu admired her deeply. Just take it, it's from Auntie. When you grow up, come visit Auntie more often. Having said that, without waiting for Dohua to say no, Lin Wanshu put on her military uniform. For Dohua to refuse once, so how could she refuse a second time? She put on the military uniform. Lin Wanshu tied a belt around her waist, then took out a hat embroidered with a red 5-pointed star and put it on her. After everything was arranged, she took Dohua to the mirror. Dohua looked at himself in the mirror, wearing a military uniform and a military cap, his face full of disbelief. His eyes were as bright as the sun above his head. This is a military uniform. It looks so nice. As she said this, she subconsciously wanted to reach out and touch it, but before she touched the clothes, she suddenly stopped. Don't touch it, it will get dirty. Lin Wanshu was very happy to see that she really liked it. Go and send your blessings to your friends. You are the brightest star today. Dohua's eyes were filled with heat again. Mom is right. Aunt Wanshu is like a fairy from heaven. It's okay if she's pretty. She wants to be like her in the future. Thank you, Auntie. Dohua said to Lin Wanshu in a serious tone. Lin Wanshu touched her head and encouraged her to send her blessings again.
Yes.
I'll go now. As she said that, she picked up her bag filled with snacks and went out again. In the yard, a group of children were still waiting for tofu pudding. When they saw her coming out in her brand new military uniform, they all exclaimed, "Wow. Look, Dohua has turned into a soldier."
Wow.
Dohua, you are so awesome today. They are all from the military family compound, and almost every child has a small military uniform. Seeing Dohua also wearing a military uniform, everyone couldn't help but cheer. Dohua was surrounded in the middle, with an unprecedented bright smile on his face. A group of children set out again to send New Year greetings. Shen Yu was still leading the way, while Wang Qingqing and Qiu Tingting were holding Xiao Miao Miao on the left and right. Dohua followed closely behind Miao Miao. Feng Jianxi finally got the chance to help his sister carry the bags. He held a bag in each hand and had a smug smile on his face. A group of children went to visit the houses one by one where they had not finished visiting just now. As soon as I walked to the door of Du Fuling's house, I heard an angry voice coming from inside. You said you just pushed a kid with ragged clothes? Zhuang returned home and told Du Fuling what had happened with a beaming face. I originally thought that she would praise herself. After all, she hated those poor people the most. But he didn't expect that his mother, who had always doted on him, would change her expression and yell at him after hearing what he said. Mom, why are you making such a fuss? I pushed her, so what? I wasn't caught anyway. You jerk. Come with me and apologize right now.
Du Fuling was so angry.
I finally managed to change Lin Wanshu's impression of me, but now my son is causing trouble again? After listening to her son's description, she knew with just a little thought that the child he pushed must be Feng Qiuyan's child. Given the relationship between Feng Qiuyan and Lin Wanshu, it might not take long for the news to reach Lin Wanshu's ears. If it were in the past, Du Fuling would not care too much if her son bullied her. But ever since she knew how powerful Lin Wanshu's medical skills were, she clearly realized that she had to make friends with her. You never know when you might even ask her out for love. Knowing that Lin Wanshu didn't like people who bullied the weak and were mean, Du Fuling also restrained her temper and began to cultivate her mind and character. No other way but to do this. After all, I have tried to send her gifts before, but he didn't even lift his eyelids. All her advances were in vain. Only last time when he spoke to Fang Qiuyan properly did she look at him straight in the eye. Understanding Lin Wanshu's personality, Du Fuling also made up her mind to change herself. But who would have thought that although I had changed, my annoying son was still the same as before, bullying others everywhere. Hearing that he had kicked the steel plate directly, Du Fuling almost fainted. Zhuang heard that his mother actually asked him to apologize to the little beggar. His eyes widened. "Mom, what did you say? Are you sick? Otherwise, why would he say such stupid things?" As Zhuang asked, he reached out and touched his mother's forehead, wanting to see if she was out of her mind. Du Fuling's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. She raised her hand and slapped her son hard, saying with a cold face, "I'm not kidding you. After I distribute all the snacks, you will come with me to apologize immediately." She didn't hold back any strength in this slap, and Zhuang's hand turned red. He ever been wronged like this? His mouth pouted, and his eyes turned red. He turned his head away and said angrily, "I won't go." "Hey, if you don't go, we'll do it ourselves." "So you're the one bullying others?" Shunyu jumped out directly from the left side of the gate and glared at Zhuang. The other children also crossed their arms and blocked the door of Du Fuling's house, an expression as if he was determined to seek justice for tofu pudding. When Zhuang saw so many people, he immediately became a little scared. Du Fuling slapped him on the head and said through gritted teeth, "Apologize." So many children knew about it, so Lin Wanshu must have known about it too. What a jerk. Zhuang had never seen his mother so fierce before, and he was immediately shocked.
The Tao.
The Tao is the Tao. Mumbling something, he turned to the door and said perfunctorily, "I'm sorry." As soon as he finished speaking, he was slapped again. "Seriously, who are you apologizing to?" The children quickly pulled Dohua, who they had been protecting behind them, to the front. "Zhuang, what's the big deal about bullying a girl? Apologize to her right now, or we will never let you go." Shunyu pulled Dohua next to him. He looked as if he would be put in a sack if he didn't apologize. Zhuang was still looking for the little beggar and didn't notice Dohua at all. It was not until he saw the pretty little girl in military uniform in front of him that he suddenly realized that the person he had just pushed was her.
Yes.
"I'm sorry, I was wrong just now. I shouldn't have pushed you." This time, Zhuang's attitude was finally serious. Du Fuling was finally satisfied. But it's useless for her to be satisfied. She still has to look at the children. Thinking of this, she picked up the basket of snacks and walked towards the children.
"I'm sorry, Dohua."
Zhuang didn't do the right thing today. I'll criticize her seriously later. This is a snack. He just dropped yours, so I'll give you some more. I just hope she can say a few good words for me in front of Lin Wanshu. Du Fuling no longer wanted to endure the excruciating pain. Dohua looked at the fashionable aunt in front of him, apologizing to him again and again, and suddenly felt that this matter was magical. It's so magical that it doesn't seem real. But her wound still hurt, so it was obvious that she was not dreaming. Thinking of this, she pursed her lips and said, "It's okay." When she finally said it was okay, he also gave 2 handfuls of snacks to each child who came to send his blessings. Xiao Miao grabbed 3 or 4 handfuls. Poor Miao had just poured out the snacks at home, and not long after she came out, the house was full again. After leaving Du Fuling's house, they had to send Miao back again to get snacks. The group entered the door. They ran into Fang Qiuyan, who looked anxious. "Dohua, where are you hurt? Let Mom see it quickly." Fang Qiuyan quickly walked up to her daughter, took her hand, and asked. When he saw his mother, Dohua's emotions, which had been calmed down with great difficulty, began to surge again. "Mother!" She threw herself into her arms, her eyes red and tears dripping down. Seeing her like this, Fang Qiuyan thought she was seriously injured and became even more worried. "Qiuyan, bring her back and let her sit down first. We'll talk slowly." Lin Wanshu took the person to the pharmacy. Although the Qin Yan brothers slept here at night, the pharmacy was spacious enough, and Qin Yan had already separated a partition on the inside with wooden boards. Inside is well protected. Fang Qiuyan carried Do Hua into the pharmacy. She couldn't wait to check her wound. It was only then that she realized that Do Hua was wearing a new military uniform. Do Hua, where did this dress come from? Fang Qiuyan asked with a serious expression. Do Hua was so frightened that he shrank back. Lin Wanshu said helplessly, Qiuyan, this is a gift from me to her. Don't blame the child. When Fang Qiuyan heard that it was Lin Wanshu who sent it, she felt even more guilty.
How can that be?
It's too expensive. We can't take it. She has helped her so much. How can she still have the nerve to accept her clothes? Lin Wanshu knew she would say that, so she smiled and said, a child's happiness is priceless. If you feel bad about it, just dig some more medicine for me to offset the cost of the clothes. Do Hua said sullenly in her arms. They said I was a beggar and pushed me away. Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan's heart suddenly felt like someone had pinched it hard, making it feel sour, bitter, and painful. I'm sorry, Do Hua, it's my fault. She hugged her daughter's thin body tightly, feeling extremely distressed. She couldn't even give her a new piece of clothing and caused her to be laughed at. For a mother, this is like a heart-wrenching pain. Lin Wanshu patted her shoulder and comforted her. Qiuyan, don't be sad. These will gradually come true in the future. Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan was stunned for a moment, then looked up at Lin Wanshu blankly. Meeting her bright eyes, Fang Qiuyan's heart, which had almost been broken, became firm again. Yes, these will be available later. If she works harder, she will earn enough money to buy clothes and shoes for Do Hua bit by bit. Although Lu Jingsong gave her money to buy vegetables, he did not give her cloth coupons. In the letters he sent home in the past, he never mentioned them at all. The mother-in-law also warned her again and again not to covet Lu Jingsong's money and tickets, as it had nothing to do with her. Therefore, even though she had to wear patched clothes during the new year, Fang Qiuyan never thought of asking Lu Jingsong for help. She couldn't rely on Lu Jingsong in the past, and she doesn't want to beg for mercy from him in the future. With Lin Wanshu's comfort, Fang Qiuyan's emotions gradually calmed down. After checking Do Hua's wound and finding that it was indeed not serious, she felt relieved. But when Fang Qiuyan thought about how Do Hua had just been bullied, she became extremely angry. Don't be angry, Mom. Zhuang has already apologized to me. Although Do Hua was still a little sad, she was very sensible and didn't want to cause trouble for her mother, so she told her about how Zhuang and Du Fuling had just apologized to her. Hearing this, Fang Qiuyan was stunned. She didn't expect that Zhuang was actually Du Fuling's child. But even though they all apologized, she still felt a lump in her heart. I don't know whether I was angry at Zhuang for humiliating my daughter or angry at myself for being useless. Fang Qiuyan pursed her lips and lowered her eyes to hide the emotions in her eyes. After a pause, he asked Do Hua, do you still want to go to pay New Year's greetings? No matter how sensible Do Hua was, she was still just a child. When she was told about New Year's greetings, she suddenly became energetic with tears in her eyes. Yes. Even though he was pushed around and scolded, this was the happiest year Do Hua had ever had. Upon hearing this, Fang Qiuyan gave her daughter a few more instructions before letting her go. Do Hua left and Fang Qiuyan also wanted to go back. After all, other children also have to come to her house to celebrate the new year. She had learned about the local customs before the new year and had bought melon seeds and peanuts early. She fried them early yesterday at noon and was just waiting to give them to the children today. She just heard that Do Hua was pushed back, so she hurried over to take a look. But before she could say goodbye, she heard Lin Wanshu ask with concern, did you not sleep well last night? Why do you look so bad? Fang Qiuyan didn't just not sleep well last night. She barely slept at all. As soon as I closed my eyes, the shame and embarrassment I felt the moment the door was pushed open flashed through my mind. It was only after last night that she realized how scared she was of that night together, afraid that something like that would happen between them again. But Fang Qiuyan knew very well that if others heard this, they would definitely laugh at her and say that she was mentally ill. After all, Isn't that what happens between men and women? What's more, she was the one who offered it to her, so what right did she have to complain? That Feng Qiuyan didn't plan to tell anyone about her and Lu Jingsong. After all, this is a private matter between husband and wife. Thinking of this, she forced a twitch of the corners of her lips and shook her head at Lin Wanshu. It's okay. Maybe the firecrackers were too loud last night. This is the custom of New Year's Eve in China. Every household will set off firecrackers after midnight. But some people release it early, and some people release it late. You can't expect peace and quiet from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Lin Wanshu also had trouble sleeping last night because of the noise, and she fell asleep in a daze later. But she didn't look as tired as Feng Qiuyan. Feng Qiuyan looked like she hadn't slept much the entire night. But she refused to say, so Lin Wanshu didn't dare to continue asking. If you need any help, just tell me. Feng Qiuyan felt grateful and guilty for her concern. I always trouble her, but have no ability to repay her. Thinking of this, Feng Qiuyan became more eager to learn more words and identify more medicines. I will. Thank you, Wanshu. She plans to read books and learn to read at home after distributing red envelopes and snacks. Thinking of this, she didn't stay any longer and said goodbye and went back. Along the way, there were children visiting and wishing a happy new year, and the entire family compound was filled with joy. Surrounded by such a lively atmosphere, Feng Qiuyan's mood gradually improved. Lu Jingsong didn't come back last night, so Feng Qiuyan set off firecrackers herself after midnight. Was still not seen in the morning, and she was still the one setting off the firecrackers. Relieved that he didn't come back. Walk all the way back home. Before I even entered, I could hear from afar the voices of children wishing each other a happy new year. Uncle Lu, happy new year. May everything go well for you. May good luck shine upon you, and may you become rich and prosperous. Feng Qiuyan. Not expecting him to come back suddenly, Feng Qiuyan subconsciously paused and stood outside the yard, not knowing whether to go in or not. Just when she was hesitating, the children who had just paid New Year's greetings came out happily again. Seeing her, everyone shouted loudly, Happy New Year, Annie. Wish you good fortune and prosperity. The children were so loud that she couldn't pretend she hadn't come back. In the end, Feng Qiuyan could only respond to the children one by one with a smile. She had just put the red envelopes under the basket. Lu Jingsong should have distributed them already, so she didn't need to distribute them again. After all, no one is rich, so it makes no sense for any family to give out 2 red envelopes. The children also knew this, so after congratulating each other, they would jump and run away, ready to send their blessings to the next family. Suddenly, there was only a strange couple left in the huge yard, and the atmosphere was incredibly weird. Lu Jingsong looked a little embarrassed. He was used to staying in the military camp, which was full of men who were usually careless. He couldn't change his habit of pushing the door open directly. Last night was also a big shock to him. Lu Jingsong felt like he didn't know how to face her. Feng Qiuyan didn't want to see him even more. But she knew in her heart that this was simply unrealistic. After all, they were still husband and wife in name. Thinking of this, she lowered her eyes and went straight back to her room without any intention of greeting him. She ignored him, so Lu Jingsong should have been relieved. But at this moment, he felt an indescribable sense of depression in his heart. Feng Qiuyan returned to the house and quickly forgot about Lu Jingsong. She was concentrating on reading the storybook Lin Wanshu gave her. When you come across a word you don't understand, look it up in the dictionary and practice the new word over and over again. Soon, she was immersed in the world of books. Lin Wanshu gave her Are very short. There is a life philosophy hidden behind each short story. Always understand something more or less after reading each story. In the following days, she was obsessed with it. Apart from working, she almost spent the rest of her time locked in the room, either writing, memorizing, or identifying the names of new medicines taught by Lin Wanshu. Feng Qiuyan not only studied by herself, but also took her daughter to study together. Do Hua is very young. She has already remembered the words to study hard. When her mother asked her to write, She did it obediently. She listened with great interest when her mother told her stories. In this way, Fang Qiuyan was so busy that she had almost no time to pay attention to Lu Jingsong. Lu Jingsong was also very busy. The couple lived under the same roof, but hardly ever saw each other. Lin Wanshu had one day left during the Spring Festival holiday. Qin Hua said he wanted to go back. Knowing that sowing and raising seedlings would be necessary again in the spring, Lin Wanshu did not keep anyone. I collected some local specialties for him to take back. Seeing that her little granddaughter had no one to take care of her and that other military wives were helping to look after her every day, Sun Shifeng felt so distressed that she decided to keep her. Besides, my daughter-in-law's belly is getting bigger and bigger, and when she gives birth, I will have to take care of her during the confinement period. Sun Shifeng meant well, but Qin Yan was not very happy, because his mother had no intention of returning his wife to him. Not only that, she was also guarding against him, as if he were a thief. It would have been fine if she just took precautions. She even warned him slightly in private. Mom is doing this for your own good. Your wife is pregnant, and I'm afraid you've hurt her badly. Happened to pass by and heard it, almost laughed out loud. Qin Yan. With Sun Shifeng there at night, it would be impossible for the couple to enter the space for a private meeting even if they wanted to. Just like that, even though his wife was right in front of him, Qin Yan didn't even have the chance to be alone with her. Seeing that she was still gloating at this moment, Qin Yan was so angry that he almost laughed. Lin Wanshu met her man's resentful gaze and awkwardly retracted her bared teeth, with an inexplicable look of guilt on her face. Finally, while her mother-in-law turned to go to the kitchen, she quietly reached out and pulled his hand, not knowing whether to comfort him or to beg for mercy. Anyway, she had just held his hand, and the next second, she felt her whole hand being grasped in the man's hot big hand, unable to struggle free. Lin Wanshu. What are you doing? Peering secretly into the kitchen, she asked with a guilty conscience. Qin Yan didn't say anything and pulled her into his own separate compartment in the pharmacy. Now Lin Wanshu was sweating profusely. The mother-in-law gave the instructions. They secretly hid here. If they were seen, would she still be able to live as a human being? Lin Wanshu glared at her man. Signal him to let go. But Qin Yan didn't listen at all. As soon as he walked into the cubicle, he hugged the person in his arms. Hearing his contented sigh, Lin Wanshu blushed. In the not-so-big compartment, and the two people's heartbeats gradually became intertwined. Although they had been apart many times before, Lin Wanshu inexplicably felt that her man seemed to have become more clingy. But she could understand his feelings. After all, he is a soldier, and his training tasks are heavy, and he has to go on missions from time to time. Even if they followed the army, they could not stay together like an ordinary couple. It can be said that every time they spend together is precious to them. Thinking of this, Lin Wanshu's heart softened, and she didn't say anything to refuse. Just when the two were being affectionate, Qin Yan suddenly felt his stomach move in his palm. This sudden change gave him a fright. What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Qin Yan looked at her bulging belly and asked nervously. Lin Wanshu almost laughed out loud again.
I've fine.
The baby just kicked me. Counting the time, the little guy in my belly is more than 4 months old. When she was pregnant with Meow Meow, she had no experience and was shocked at the time. However, Meow Meow's fetal movement did not start so early. It was almost felt in the 20th week. Moreover, the little one was lazy and didn't like to move much during the entire pregnancy. It looks like the little one in my belly is a lively one now. When Qin Yan heard that it was the baby who kicked him just now, he was shocked.
You
mean it was the baby in your belly that was moving just now? He looked at her belly in disbelief.
Yes.
It's our baby moving. He may be busy saying hecko to you, Lin Wanshu said with a smile, and then took his hand and placed it on her belly. The baby in the belly was also very considerate. As soon as Qin Yan put his hand on it, he felt his belly jump again. This jump, as if with some magical power, hit Qin Yan's heart directly. Our baby. As he murmured these words, his heart seemed to be filled with something. Before, Qin Yan only knew that his wife was pregnant and he needed to take extra care of her. There is no other feeling besides this. This was the first time he truly felt the child's presence. The shock brought by this life made him both surprised and moved. Carefully protected the woman in his arms, as if she was protecting his whole world. But when he thought about her belly getting bigger and bigger and the hard work in the hospital, Qin Yan couldn't bear to let her go. Would you like to take a leave first and continue your internship after the baby is born? Lin Wanshu was touched and amused when she saw his worried look. It's just a pregnancy. It's not a big deal. Other doctors can treat patients, so why can't I? Don't worry, I'm not that fragile. Qin Yan looked at his wife, who was smiling sweetly in his arms, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. She looks so delicate, but she is stronger than anyone else. Although he was reluctant, Qin Yan still chose to respect her decision. For fear of being caught by Sun Shifeng, the two did not stay long and left quickly. As soon as I walked out of the yard, He Wenju came. Seeing her, Lin Wanshu's eyes lit up. Wenju, you're here?
Come in and sit down.
Although they all lived in the same family compound, He Wenju was so busy that Lin Wanshu rarely saw her go out. It's rare to see her here now. How can she not be happy? He Wenju still had a few manuscripts in her hands. Upon hearing this, she did not refuse and went to the pavilion with Lin Wanshu. When Sun Shifeng saw the guests coming, she quickly brought the kettle and took out various rice cakes and snacks and placed them on the stone table. Xiao Miao Miao went out to play with the other kids again and was not seen the whole morning. Lin Wanshu didn't care, since Shen Xi and the others were there. After the two sat down in the pavilion, He Wenju opened the manuscript in his hand. This is the machine I designed. Take a look and see if it's what you want. It turns out that the factory had officially started construction in the third year of the Chinese New Year and is now under construction. The machine that He Wenju mentioned was what Lin Wanshu had been looking for before the pharmaceutical factory approved it. However, the machinery factory did not have a machine that met her requirements. Finally, He Wenju volunteered to help her design one. Lin Wanshu had run a factory in her previous life and had seen quite a few different types of equipment. After taking the manuscript handed over by He Wenju, she looked at it carefully, and her eyes suddenly lit up. That's right. This is what I want. Wenju, you are so amazing, aren't you? In such a short time, she was able to design a machine that almost met her requirements. How could she not be surprised? I have seen similar machines before. Based on that, I have improved a few places, and the efficiency should be able to increase by 30%. The machine she had seen was, of course, in the country across the ocean. At that time, their country was in ruins and the country was in constant war, while other people's industries were extremely developed and there was peace and prosperity. Lin Wanshu was stunned when she heard that the efficiency could be improved by 30%. Wenju, it would be a waste if you don't go to graduate school with your talent. Hearing this, He Wenju smiled. Gold shines wherever it is, and I can shine in my current position as well. After joining the factory, she has helped improve many of the factory's equipment. An engine with advanced performance was also designed. It can be said that she has now become a key training target in the factory. Hearing this, Lin Wanshu no longer felt sorry for her. For a talent like her, she can shine anywhere. After the two finished talking about the machines, they talked about their babies. He Wenju touched her belly and looked a little strange. Why is my belly bigger than yours? Obviously, her period is almost 1 month younger than Lin Wanshu's. Hearing this, Lin Wanshu didn't find it strange. During pregnancy, if the fetus is on the front wall, the belly will generally be more visible. If it is on the back wall, the belly will look relatively smaller. This is also the reason why some people don't show much of their pregnancy even after being pregnant for 5 or 6 months. But there is another situation. That is, the belly of twins will be bigger than that of a single baby. Lin Wanshu glanced at He Wenju's stomach, paused, and then said, "Do you want me to take your pulse?" Hearing this, He Wenju naturally would not refuse. There is a doctor available. Why doesn't she see one? Lin Wanshu found a cushion, placed her hand on it, and began to take her pulse. He Wenju touched her belly with her hand and looked at Lin Wanshu with a somewhat nervous expression on her face. How about it? My belly is growing so fast. Is there any problem? Lin Wanshu took the pulse for a while. There was a hint of surprise on her face. Afraid that she had made a mistake, she checked it carefully for a while. Seeing her like this, Hyunju became even more nervous. Just when I was about to ask her what was going on, I heard Lin Wanshu's somewhat excited voice. Hyunju, congratulations, you are pregnant with 2 babies. Hearing this, Hyunju's eyes widened. She covered her belly with her hands. She was a little bit unbelievable. How could it be? Neither her family nor Chioyong's family has the gene for twins. So, how come they are pregnant with 2? But looking at her belly, which was obviously bigger than Lin Wanshu's, she couldn't help but believe that she might be pregnant with twins. But after being shocked, Hyunju couldn't help but grit her teeth. Chioyong. Lin Wanshu thought she was worried about the baby in her belly, so she comforted her. Hyunju, don't worry. You are in good health, and you can handle having 2 children. Hearing this, Hyunju felt like crying but had no tears. How could she be worried about whether she could bear it? She just felt that it was so difficult to be pregnant, and it was inconvenient to do anything. If she has 2 children, how will she be able to work in the future? But she didn't say that. The 2 chatted for a while, and then Chioyong came over. He was holding a code in his hand. It was obvious at first glance that he was worried about Hyunju and came over to keep an eye on her. As expected, as soon as he entered the yard, Chioyong said cheerfully, Comrade Xiaolin, I came here to give Hyunju some clothes. In fact, Chioyong felt that his wife was taking a long annual leave. She stayed in the room writing and drawing every day, and it was difficult for him to say a word to her. She finally got out and was about to go to City again. Shouldn't he seize the time and stay with her for a while longer? Seeing that she had not returned from Lin Wanshu's place for a long time, Chioyong had no choice but to go to her himself. But who would have thought that as soon as Hyunju saw him, she rolled her eyes and turned away. Chioyong. No. How did he offend this girl? It's obvious that they don't have much time to spend together during the holidays. Chioyong looked at the angry Hyunju, totally confused and feeling extremely aggrieved. From now on, he could only seek help from Lin Wanshu, who was standing beside him. Comrade Xiaolin, what happened to my wife? Lin Wanshu looked at his cautious appearance, feeling both sympathy and amusement. Nothing, just want to congratulate you. Hyunju is pregnant with twins. Hearing this, Chioyong was shocked again. Staring at Hyunju's belly, he swallowed and said, Wife. Wife, are you pregnant with twins? Hyunju was feeling upset and didn't want to pay attention to him. After saying goodbye to Lin Wanshu, she got up and left. Chioyong hurriedly chased after him. While walking beside his wife, he said nervously, Wife, please walk slowly and be careful. Those are twins. 2 at a time? He's so awesome. Although his wife didn't say anything, Chioyong believed in Lin Wanshu's medical skills. If she said there were 2, then she must be right. Along the way, Chioyong was grinning foolishly. Captain, where are you going? On the way, when he met other military wives, they just said Heko, and Chioyong responded reflexively. How did you know my wife was pregnant with twins? The military wives were surprised to hear that Hyunju was pregnant with twins. They all surrounded her and asked her questions curiously. Some even started to inquire about her secret of having twins. Are you kidding? They are twins. Who wouldn't want to have a pair? Gay men were so envious that they were almost crying. One after another, they kept congratulating Chioyong. Chioyong, who was envied by everyone, had his mouth almost stretched to his ears. Hyunju. I'm so angry, but I still have to keep smiling. In this way, they showed off all the way along the way, and when they returned home, half of the people in the compound knew that Hyunju was pregnant with twins. Hyunju was so angry that she went straight to her room as soon as she got home. He slammed the door shut. Chioyong was just guarding against this move of hers. He quickly stepped out and blocked the door. The door was not closed, and Hyunju returned to the bed and sat down angrily. Chioyong hurried over and shamelessly hugged the person in his arms. Wife, why are you unhappy again? What did I do wrong? Just tell me. I promise to change. Although he didn't know where he went wrong, It would be a good idea for him to admit his mistake first. But after hearing this, He Wenju felt even more annoyed. He had no idea how much the pregnancy would affect him. He Wenju felt a pang of pain at the corners of her forehead when she thought of the CNC machine tool she had designed halfway. How can you make me happy? Will I still have to do my job if I have 2 children? Once the CNC machine tools are produced and successfully verified, they can promote the automation process and greatly improve production efficiency. If she is pregnant with 2 children, but she will also have to spend a lot of time taking care of them after they are born. She even doubted whether she would be able to work normally in the future. Looking down at her bulging belly, her face was full of confusion. When Cheo-young heard that she was afraid that the child would affect her work, he was stunned. He knew how much his wife loved this country and even sacrificed her life for it. He also knew that she was worried about the country's industrial backwardness, so she didn't even rest on holidays and locked herself in her room to write and draw. But he never expected that she would dislike the baby in her belly as a burden because of her work. He couldn't blame her. After all, it was his own failure to plan well that led to this accident. Sorry, Cheo-young said dryly. The joy and excitement on his face were replaced by full of guilt. He Wenju knew that he was not to blame for this. After all, it was not his decision how many children to have. But she still felt an indescribable annoyance in her heart. She didn't like things that were beyond her control. He Wenju touched her belly and said nothing. Cheo-young felt bad seeing her like this, but he didn't let go of her hand. Instead, he hugged her tightly and comforted her. Wife, let's find a solution together. If you don't have time to take care of the child, just leave the child in the family compound. I'll ask my parents to take care of the child for us. I'll help when I come back.
Don't look down on them, okay?
This is her bloodline and his, or two. How much Cheo-young hoped that they could win her favor. Anyway, it's all my fault. Don't blame them, wife. Cheo-young said this and carefully placed his hand on her belly. There are 2 babies here. They are their babies. When he thought of this, Cheo-young's heart softened. The baby hasn't even come out yet, but he's already protecting it. He Wenju was both angry and amused, and finally, she couldn't help but pinch him. Of course it's your fault. You are responsible. Even though he was pinched, Cheo-young grinned happily. Okay, I'll take responsibility. It's all my fault. Wife, pinch me hard. Don't show any mercy. As he said this, he stretched out his arms in front of her, with an expression that allowed her to vent. He Wenju. Where on earth did he learn these moves? I've never seen him so shameless before. However, after being interrupted by him, He Wenju's mood did improve. Else can we do? Now that the children are here, how can she not want them?
Silly.
Who wants to pinch you? As she spoke, she reached out and pushed his arm away. Cheo-young felt that her attitude had softened, and suddenly it seemed as if millions of fireworks were blooming in his heart at the same time. Wife, you are not angry anymore? Lowering his head, he carefully examined her face. He Wenju was annoyed. She glared at him and turned her head away. Although he was glared at, Cheo-young was extremely happy. Looking at her pouting little mouth and her angry look, he just felt so precious. Unable to hold back, he hugged her on his lap and started coaxing her, calling her wife. I didn't expect that a tall, rough man could coax people like this. He Wenju felt a little embarrassed, her ears turned red, and even her toes were curled up together. But she didn't want to interrupt him. Cheo-young looked at her red ears, felt her soft support, and his eyes lit up surprisingly. It has been almost a week since his wife came back, and the total time he has spent with her is probably less than 5 hours. We're already living in a different place, and it was rare for her to come back. She was also very busy, so Cheo-young had been feeling restless for a long time. Seeing how well-behaved she was at this moment, how could he still hold back? I don't know when he stopped trying to comfort her. He lowered his head and slowly walked towards her. Just as he was about to kiss that pink and moist little mouth, suddenly, Cheo Tingting's voice came from outside.
Mom.
Are you home? Cheo-young. He is wrong. Children aren't actually that cute. When Cheo-young thought about the fact that there would be 2 more little brats like this in the future, disturbing his intimacy with his wife anytime and anywhere, he suddenly felt a headache. When Hee Won-ju heard that her daughter had returned, she seemed to wake up from a dream. She pushed Cheo-young away and stood up. Cheo-young was so frightened when he saw her making such big movements that his heart almost jumped into his throat, and he quickly reached out to support her. "Be careful, wife." As soon as he finished speaking, Cheo Tingting appeared at the door. Ignoring her father's ugly expression, she skipped over. "Mom, I'm so hungry. Is there anything to eat?" Hee Won-ju saw that she was sweating profusely and her face was flushed, so she tapped her forehead with some anger. "Didn't you just have breakfast? Are you hungry again so soon?" Hearing this, Cheo Tingting covered her belly a little embarrassedly and chuckled. "I've been growing a lot lately, so I'm getting hungry quickly." To see her lively and funny appearance. Fortunately, what happened last time did not leave any psychological trauma on her. "Come on, Mom will make you something delicious." Patting her head, she took her hand and walked towards the kitchen. Cheo-young, who had just spent some time with his wife, felt depressed when he saw the mother and daughter leaving in such a loving manner. However, when he thought that his wife was going to InCity in the afternoon, he did not dare to complain and hurriedly followed her. Hee Won-ju was preparing to make some noodles with soybean sauce for Tingting. When she saw Cheo-young coming in, she glared at him. "Why, are you hungry too?" Hearing this, Cheo-young didn't feel embarrassed at all, but instead walked over happily. "I don't know what's going on, but I've been feeling hungry lately. Could it be that I'm growing up too?" Hee Won-ju. "Cheo-cheo, please have some shame." Cheo Tingting on the side looked at Cheo-young with a look of surprise on her face. Is this still her old stern father? Could it be that the person was replaced? The afternoon, Lin Wan-shu and Hee Won-ju returned to InCity. Although their jobs are different, they are all equally busy. Because Hee Won-ju was pregnant with twins, Cheo-young didn't want her to travel back and forth, so he made an appointment for him to take Tingting to see her every weekend. Chin-yen also didn't want Lin Wan-shu to run back and forth, but Lin Wan-shu had to follow up on the progress of the pharmaceutical factory, and she also had to teach Fong Chiu-yen, so she still insisted on going home every weekend. In this way, when she was 6 months pregnant, Lin Wan-shu heard the news about Sun Qingping. Have you heard that the hooligan Sun Qingping was sentenced to death? Early in the morning, when Lin Wan-shu had just arrived at the cafeteria for breakfast, she heard Tan Hongmei gossiping. When the people nearby heard Sun Qingping's name, they all looked over reflexively. After all, his scandal was too big. I heard that the news spread throughout the province, and even the leaders of Beijing were very angry. In this day and age, being a hooligan is a serious crime, let alone this kind of hooliganism in a group. Plus, he did a lot of dirty things in private. Isn't this just hitting the wound directly? Not only did I hear about it, I also went to the public meeting. I heard that when the verdict came out, Sun Qingping peed on the spot and kept begging his wife to help him. He is really too stupid. He did so many bad things that even his partner was sent to a mental hospital. But I didn't know that he had a strong background and came out so quickly. Not only did he come out, he also said he wanted to kill him. Maybe his wife was responsible for his death sentence. Everyone felt very happy when they heard Chen Jiji's vivid description of Sun Qingping's appearance at that time. People like this should have been shot long ago. Tan Hongmei spit viciously, and then she suddenly thought of something and asked, "Hey, what about Chi Honglian? How is she?" Chi Honglian was originally suspended for observation, and after the incident, he was directly fired from the hospital. At the thought that they had worked with such a shameless person, she was sentenced to 20 years of hard labor. I heard she was originally going to be sentenced to death, but someone saved her, and she also made meritorious reports in prison, so her sentence was reduced. 20 years of labor reform, she was already 40 years old. All her best years were wasted in labor reform. For a young and beautiful woman, this must be more painful than death. Lin Wan-shu just listened and didn't care about it anymore. Chin-yen had already investigated the fact that she had once changed her own medicine powder. She did not collude with any enemy spies. She just framed herself out of jealousy. Considering that she was willing to go to such lengths to commit gang hooliganism for a job, It is not difficult to understand why she would do such a weird thing. Lin Wanshu is now 6 months pregnant, and her body has become heavier. Sometimes her pubic bone hurts after sitting for a long time. With Meow Meow. Since the pubic bone will hurt from sitting for a long time, sitting for consultations every day is actually a very tiring task for Lin Wanshu. However, she did not choose to take a vacation, but endured it. When the pain is really severe, drink some spiritual spring water to relieve it. I don't know if it's because I drank too much spiritual spring water. Lin Wanshu took the patient's pulse. She could actually vaguely sense the meridians throughout the patient's body. This perception also allows her to judge the patient's condition more accurately than X-ray examinations. It can be said that she never made a mistake in her diagnosis. With such talent, he not only left his fellow students far behind, but even old doctors in their 50s and 60s had to admit defeat. As more and more people were cured by her, Lin Wanshu's clinic became increasingly busier. There are a lot of people you can't even squeeze in. But Lin Wanshu is still pregnant after all, and her body couldn't handle too many people. In the end, Shirsurong was in charge of the diversion. Patients with common illnesses could go directly to other doctors, and only those with difficult and complicated diseases that could not be treated by other departments could go to Lin Wanshu's department for treatment. We're a little unconvinced at first. But after seeing that all kinds of strange diseases could be easily cured in her hands, they had nothing to say. By the time Lin Wanshu was 7 months pregnant, the construction of the factory was almost complete. During this period, she was running back and forth, seeing patients and following up on the progress of the factory. After all the busy schedule, not only did she not gain weight in the late pregnancy, her cheeks looked a lot thinner. Qin Yan saw this. His brows furrowed so much that they could almost pinch a mosquito to death. That day, Qin Yan said with a serious face after picking someone up from the station. Wan, you need to rest. You can't work so hard anymore. This level of work intensity would be too much for an ordinary person to handle, not to mention that her belly is already so big. There were quite a lot of patients today. Lin Wanshu had been seeing patients all day and was very tired. Hearing her man's words, she forced a smile on her lips. I'll be on maternity leave in 2 more weeks, don't worry. Again. Qin Yan looked at her tired little face, feeling angry and helpless. I called Aunt Sher and told her that you will start your maternity leave tomorrow and wait until the baby is born and you have recovered your health after the confinement period. Always respected Lin Wanshu, but this time his attitude was extremely tough. Nothing was more important to him than her body. Work can be put aside for now. He needs to let her have a good rest first. Lin Wanshu wanted to say something, but seeing the unprecedented seriousness on her man's face, she had to swallow her words.
Well.
Okay, I'll listen to you. She didn't come back to life just to quarrel with him. They had little time together to begin with, so how could she be willing to waste that little time on meaningless quarrels? Seeing that she finally listened to the advice, Qin Yan's tense expression finally relaxed. Let's go back first. Mom will kill a chicken and make chicken soup for you. Ever since she saw Lin Wanshu running back and forth between the two places, busy with both hospital and factory matters, Sun Shifeng felt extremely distressed. Every time Lin Wanshu went back, she would find different ways to nourish her body. It's either meat soup or fish soup, and now I even bought a chicken to make chicken soup for her. Such a frugal person on weekdays is actually willing to buy her so many good things. Lin Wanshu to say she wasn't touched. The bicycle slowly returned to the family compound. It's already May and the weather is getting hotter. They returned to the family compound. The sun had not yet set. Xiao Miao was already wearing shorts and a short-sleeved shirt. When she saw her mother coming back, her eyes lit up. She threw away the toy in her hand and rushed towards her.
Mom.
You're back. Miao is 2 years old now, and with Sun Shifeng taking care of her in the family compound, Qin Yan no longer brings her into the space. Xiao Miao, who hadn't seen her mother for half a month, was both surprised and happy. The short legs run very fast. Qin Yan was afraid that she would bump into Lin Wanshu's belly, so he reached out and picked up the little girl in advance. Mom has a baby in her belly, can Dad hold you? Hearing this, Xiao Miao nodded obediently.
Good.
But as soon as she agreed, she twisted her body and tried to get off. I want to play with the baby. Pointing at her mother's belly with her little hand, Xiao Miao Miao said with sparkling eyes. The baby can kick and move around, and she really loves playing with him. When Sun Shifeng heard her daughter-in-law coming back, she hurried out of the kitchen. Seeing that little Miao Miao was a little noisy, she coaxed the baby and said, "Miao Miao, be good. Grandma has left a big chicken drumstick for you. Go and eat it quickly." When Xiao Miao Miao heard that there were chicken legs, how could she care about the baby or not? "I want to eat chicken drumsticks." She twisted her body again and pointed to the kitchen with her little hand. Qin Yan let her go. The little guy landed on the ground. He took his mother's hand and pulled towards the kitchen. "Mom, come on, go eat the chicken legs." Lin Wanshu hadn't seen her daughter for a long time and missed her very much, so she let her lead the way. "Okay, let's go eat chicken legs." The meal was ready. Sun Shifeng even calculated the time and prepared a bowl of chicken soup in advance. The soup was neither cold nor hot, just the right amount of flavor. "Mom, the soup you cooked is so delicious." After drinking a sip of the soup, Lin Wanshu sighed contentedly. "As long as you like it, drink more. Mom has already collected 7 or 8 chickens and saved them for you to eat after you give birth." She searched all the chickens available in the nearby communes and only managed to collect 7 or 8. Sun Shifeng also gritted her teeth before killing one to nourish Lin Wanshu. "Mom, you are so nice." Lin Wanshu was deeply moved. Xiao Miao Miao, who was gnawing on a chicken leg, nodded heavily when she heard this. "Heko, Grandma." Sun Shifeng was immediately delighted. "My dear granddaughter, eat the chicken legs quickly. After you finish one, there is another one." She saved both chicken legs and gave them all to Miao Miao to eat, showing her love for her. But when Xiao Miao Miao heard that there were 2 chicken legs, she didn't plan to eat them alone. Instead, he pointed at the mother's belly and said, "Feed the baby." Hearing this, Lin Wanshu's heart almost melted. How can there be such a cute little angel? Sun Shifeng also thought that this little girl was very adorable, so she hugged her and kissed her. "Oh, my dear. You can take care of your brothers and sisters at such a young age? Grandma really loves you for a reason." It was not known whether Lin Wanshu was pregnant with a son or a daughter. Although Sun Shifeng thought it would be better to have another son, she was afraid that Lin Wanshu would feel pressured if she said so. "I have always called them brother and sister." Qin Yan was also touched by his daughter's cuteness. He touched her little head and praised her. "Miao Miao is awesome. Come eat quickly. After dinner, Dad will take you to play airplane." Heard that her father was going to take her to ride an airplane, she immediately became excited. In her mouth, she said vaguely, "Don't lie." "Well, I'm not lying." The sun had just set after the family of 4 had finished their lively meal. Lin Wanshu was just about to take a shower when she saw Fong Qiuyan passing by the door carrying vegetables, so she greeted her. "Qiuyan, are you picking vegetables?" She heard Lin Wanshu's voice. Putting down the dustpan, she quickly walked towards her. "Wanshu, you are finally back." Last week a patient was in critical condition, and Lin Wanshu did not come back. Calculating the time, the two haven't seen each other for half a month. How could Fong Qiuyan not be surprised to see her coming back? Lin Wanshu looked at Fong Qiuyan, who was running towards her happily, and for a moment, she was a little dazed. There was no other reason. It was just that Fong Qiuyan had changed her previous shabby and dull clothes, and was now wearing a well-tailored light blue shirt and black pants. After several months of medicated diet treatment, combined with external application of facial cream and body lotion, now she not only has fair skin, but also a slim and graceful figure. I don't know if it's because of the books she read, but her temperament has also become more settled. The whole person seems to have been reborn, making people unable to take their eyes off. TSK, let me see. Where did this little beauty come from? When Fong Qiuyan came over, Lin Wanshu took her hand and looked her over, teasing her. Blushed when she looked at her. However, she had been with Lin Wanshu for a long time, and her personality had become a lot bolder. Although she felt a little uncomfortable, she dared to tease him back. How can you be more beautiful than me? Look at your skin. It's not even as tender as an egg. As she spoke, she touched her hand. Lin Wanshu. Qiuyan, you have changed, she complained with a look of deep sorrow on her face. Fang Qiuyan chuckled. That's because you taught me well. Her facial features are not very delicate, but they are also beautiful. She has a pair of beautiful eyes that are big and bright. Her smile is as curved as a crescent moon, gentle and playful. Looking at the person in front of me smiling so happily, it is hard to imagine that she was so timid and looked like a refugee just a few months ago. Lin Wanshu was very pleased with her changes. By the way, I found some interesting books at the scrapyard this time. I'll get them for you. When she heard that there was another book, Fang Qiuyan's eyes brightened, like the sun in the sky. Where is it? Let me see. These days she either worked or studied every day. After a few months, she could understand most of the books. Before, Lin Wanshu would bring her books and old newspapers every week. In addition to storybooks, she would also specially find some interesting history and geography books for her. It must be said that the books she chose were really to Fang Qiuyan's liking. Especially geography books. After reading them, she felt like a new world had opened up. It turns out that this world is so big and so wonderful. There are not only mountains but also seas.